adventuring in the lands of Toivoa. Most recently, you are down here near the town of South Cove, where you guys have come to visit the Von Karth family estate, as Ricard Von Karth has been gone for quite some time. You wanted to figure out why your father had supposedly betrayed you, according to the statements that were said on the island of Shalosh, and have, after scrying upon the location, teleported to the Von Karth family estate. That's where we pick up as you appear right next to your father here at the estate. As you arrive, he turns with a start. Are you real?
Amidst the fire and flames that we arrived, Ricard just kind of stands there stone-faced for just a moment to let the weight of the situation settle in. And then he gets a big grin on his face and he says, "Morning, Father. What's for breakfast?" Then he kind of sniffs the air a little bit. He's like, "Whatever it is, it smells like it's burning."
If it's burning, then your nostrils have gotten better and your tastes have improved. Are you a phantasm?
No, I have returned.
He reaches out to touch your face. Will you allow him to do so?
Yeah.
He cups the left side of your jaw with his right hand. He looks at you. You are real. Ricard, where have you been? And he will pull you into an embrace, hugging you tightly. You can smell sage on his clothing. It's familiar. A scent you've not smelled in over 2,000 years.
Ricard kind of unexpectedly needs to kind of like take a deep breath, catch himself for a second. He says, "I hear it's been over 1,000 years.
Where have you been?"
Woke up on an island in some dungeon, ready to be sacrificed to some great summoning. These people," he gestures to the party behind him, "my new friends, they saved me. They gave me the chance to see you again."
He turns to the rest of the party. My thanks. I am Victor Von Karth, head of the household here of the Karth estate. And you are...
Echo Rex.
Sweet August Rose.
Tessadinide, for a moment, just rubs his head, looking around, and says, yes, Tessadinide, High Cleric of Anwa.
Oh, and the quiet person is Aimer.
I'm not quiet. What the hell do you think this is?
Brandon will say his name, unimpressed by all the grandeur behind him.
If you guys have a passive perception over a 10, you can see that the clouds are now writing out the word Aimer Rocks.
Yeah, they're quite the crowd.
Indeed. Welcome to the Karth estate. Come, sit by the fountain. Let's speak. And he will walk towards the fountain and will sit down on the edge of it.
Yeah, I think you said when we were watching the eye before we came here that he was like performing his morning inspections. Yes. Is what he was doing. Mm-hmm. So I'm guessing there's like troops or...
You look around and you can see a myriad or a plethora of troops all underneath the arches
F.A.,
Thank you.
do you even know what a plethora is?
I do know what a plethora is. Why don't you
Why?
tell me?
Why, El Guapo? Sorry, it's my favorite movie of all time. Just the desert and this guy,
Yeah. Just wait till you get to the scene in Songbush.
Well, can you put a hat on the plethora?
Chip, 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 chip,
Yeah.
chip.
That's-
Nanny! Sorry. So there's all sorts of soldiers and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yes.
Rose will follow them to the fountain. She'll let Rickard take a seat next to him, which is presumably what he's asking for, and she'll just stand respectfully a few feet away. One, to give them a little bit of space, and two, in case someone decides to start throwing fireballs, we're not all grouped together.
So, you said you were on an island, being prepared for a ceremony. It's horrid. But that could not have taken 2,000 years. Where have you been before that?
Ricard kind of gestures to the shield on his back and the armor that he's wearing right now. It's like, Father, the last thing I remember was being drunk and dancing around the castle in your armor and with your shield before I passed out for the evening.
I wondered if it had been stolen when you disappeared.
I had wondered why you hadn't taken it back.
I could not find you. We searched. We searched for years. There are still parties out searching for you. Although you have become legend, and most do not actively seek you. Thank you for returning, my boy. I do miss you so. Your mother will
Eric.
be delighted to see you.
Can I make a check? Is it possible that Doldrin had trapped him like he did this other soul in the staff? Is that a type of magic that he was participating in on a regular
Who do
basis?
you reference when you say trapped him?
The old one, I guess.
Okay, you're
The old forgotten one.
okay.
That's what he did with he trapped the old forgotten one, and I'm wondering if, I didn't think it was Ricard, but is that a type of magic? Is that something that probably he was doing over and over and over, so Ricard was a victim of that?
We can roll an Arcana check.
Okay. What do I need? Oops.
And for the record, some parts of D&D Beyond are currently broken. We even have members in our Discord who are working on fixing it.
So. a
Wow. Okay.
What a roll.
So fine.
Wait, hold on. What magic are you referencing? Something from the staff?
30? I think Echo's just looking through his compendium real quick, and he's thinking about the staff and the way the staff was constructed, and Doldrin and the way Doldrin conducted his magical experiments. And he's trying to put together, oh, wait a minute, Ricard may have been a victim of Doldrin himself. But I'm trying to piece that
Okay, yeah.
together. He hasn't figured, he's not saying anything aloud yet. He's just trying to put it together.
So out of character and pausing time for a moment. There are. I'm sorry.
No, that was just the record scratch, you know.
So as you consider the situation, there are a variety of magics that can hold people in suspended animation and hold them in reserve for a period of time. It's very possible that Doldrin had used some form of magic to take Ricard and keep him in stasis until he was needed for the ritual. Now, the fact it wasn't necessarily the staff that he used for this, but it was a spell and a spell-like ability from the fey creature that you guys encountered that did this.
Okay.
Petrification's also on the table with the kind of horrors he had at his disposal.
Indeed.
Okay. Maybe I'll bring it up later, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I
it's
expect
starting to
you
make
petrify
sense.
someone, you dip him in lead, no one can find him.
All right. So we
Uh,
re-enable time.
Yeah, and Rose is she's watching Victor just to see if she can tell if he's being genuine or not.
Okay, roll your insight check.
Oh, I already did. Oh, I'm
You
ahead
did.
of you, Eric.
Very well, at 28. Everything he's saying, he believes.
Okay. All right. So he hasn't been like, "Oh, I miss you so much," even though I knew you were exactly what happened to you or something like that. Okay. All right. Just seeing, just
No,
checking.
absolutely. You guys need
Yeah.
to be doing this. Absolutely right.
Yeah, she's just standing there, like I said, respectfully off a few feet, just letting them talk.
So, where have you been?
Well, when we escaped the island, we traveled about. I had heard that this place had changed, and Gar kind of looks around. I didn't realize it had changed so much, but I didn't even know if you were alive for a few days there.
I am alive, as is your mother. She will be delighted to see you. But the Karth estate, this is all that remains after the great beast came through.
The Great Beast?
Yes, Malevodoro. And I will put that in chat for you guys here. It ravaged the lands. It comes through every few years and destroys all living things outside of the walls. It is a horror. It has weakened our family, Ricard, to the point that we are no longer what we once were. We are limited in what we can do.
I had heard that the name had fallen into obscurity.
Indeed.
In fact, I hear that the town is under attack right now, as I understand.
The city of South Cove is. Our establishment here is without problems. We have made arrangements to ensure that we have independence from the greater populace. We are cut off. They do not regularly visit us, and we do not visit them, save for when we need supplies. As regal as the house looks, it is nearly a hermitage now.
What is your plan to return the Karth name to its former glory?
I have none. I have no aspirations of grand power to rule the world anymore. The beast has broken me, son. Malevodoro is not to be trifled with, and the desolation of our once rich land is a result of its presence. We cannot resist.
I mean, this group of people here has done some pretty crazy stuff in the few days that I've been with them. We could potentially help with that.
I don't see how. But if they have brought my son to me again, then perhaps even greater miracles are possible. We missed you so much. Your mother insisted on finishing and celebrating your 40th birthday. Your presents are still in your room, awaiting your return. She hasn't changed a thing. She instructs the servants to clean it once a day, to prepare it for your return, in case you ever are found.
And normally the mention of his mother would just cause him to start beaming, but without realizing it, he realizes, or he hasn't been smiling as his father's talking about his mother. He just says, Where is she now?
Probably within the house. Probably in the ballroom. She is changed. She is not the same person you once knew. She has softened somewhat over the years. Do you still have wanderlust for the taverns and bars? The favors of women?
Yeah. Yeah, you know I do.
You have not changed in 2,000 years. Meanwhile, the world has passed you by. You look exactly the same as you did the night before you disappeared.
I just don't know how it's possible.
Nor do I. Who took you? Do you know? Have you slain them?
Ricard kind of looks down to the ground for a moment, kind of glances up at Rose, and he's like, I don't know how much I can say. Kind of glances at her as if to ask permission.
I'm sorry. I was reading something. I was reading a note from someone sent me on Discord. What is he asking
How
about?
much is
Is-
Ricard allowed to say about the situation?
With what? Vagradan? That's kind of like public knowledge at this point. I mean,
About who stole him and like
oh,
the area that we were in,
I mean
that
that's
kind of thing.
yeah. She just shrugs and just says, as far as we know, it was a mage named Doldrin Shadowscar. That's where we found him, on the Isle of Shalosh, being tortured by some of Doldrin's minions.
I believe I've heard this name before. What does this one look like?
Black Dragonborn, mage, talks like he went to some sort of academy for evil mages.
That's very nondescript. Most academies of the arcane.
So, I mean, other than the being a black shadow, did he really have any distinguishing features? Other than just being a black shadow, a black dragonborn.
He did make a fun sound when we smashed him into 1,000 pieces, his soul getting sucked up into his staff, which we then tore out and hand delivered to Imkale.
Yeah, well, I'm just trying to remember if his actual body had any real distinctive features, like any scars or anything like that.
You guys didn't check. You guys decided to take his soul and
Yeah.
deal with it that way.
Well, I mean, I was punching him in the face.
He had an
yeah.
overbite on both sides, up and down.
Yeah, she just mentions a black dragonborn overbite, mage, pretty serious, pretty powerful mage, but you know, with dragonborn, it's kind of hard to tell. They all kind of look the same, unless they have some sort of very distinguishing feature. Yeah.
Well, Echo, do you have any illusion magic at hand?
Oh well, yeah. Rose, you know, just she'll use minor illusion, and hold out her palm, and she'll make an image of Doldrin's face
Okay.
floating in her palm.
Yeah, Echo.
I don't know
Echo
how
says-
well we can trust that since they all look the same to you.
I mean,
So,
I remember what he looked like when I was, you know, beating him to death. But yeah, here.
yeah, I just blow things up for the most part. I don't, you know.
So history check for Sweet August Rose.
Oh, dude. Oh no.
Aha!
Can Echo help?
Not in this case.
Well, he can point out like, oh no, he had like a bigger nose and things like that, like a
Sure,
sketch
okay.
artist.
Sure, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Roll it again, so you have advantage.
Roll it again. That's not bad.
So you get a general depiction of a black dragonborn that has no distinctive features.
He what he really needs is like a giant curly black mustache, like those old cartoon villains.
And a top hat and a
Weird
monocle.
crooked horn. Yeah.
That's a different campaign. Anyway. So back into the character. I remember the name, but I have dealt with far too many Dragonborn over the many years. I do not recognize this one.
He kept a fairly low profile from what we understood. He was working with Cervantes and Sargeos as far as we
At the
could
mention of
ascertain.
Cervantes, his eyes widen, and you've managed to escape.
Yes. Another notable feature about this mage is that he was apparently one of the people controlling the great black dragon Vagradan.
Oh, yes. And so you say that the rumor of Vagradan is true.
Definitely true.
Oh, it's very true. I'm sorry. It was is it Shimahaba that was the one that was the city that was
Yes.
getting destroyed? Yeah.
That's correct.
He's as of yesterday he was in Shimahaba raising the city.
At least he's far away from here.
Oh,
As
yeah,
long as he stays far from here, he can rot in hell as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, Shu is not having a very good year. You know, a lot of
Good.
ports on this side of the world are having very bad years.
If Shu is having a bad year, then I must celebrate.
Well, South Cove apparently had a pretty bad day from what we've heard.
It did. About a year ago. And the Crimson Eclipse that just happened was most troubling. Have you been to South Cove since my son has been gone?
Rose just shakes her head. I don't know. I mean, Amer would say, I have, it sucked.
And I'm not going out at night. You have been in South Cove before. Ever since Malavidoro has inhabited the area, it is not safe to be out at night anywhere near the city of South Cove. Should you be caught outdoors, storms of vampiric sturges swoop down from the mountains and decimate anything that moves.
Do a history check on
Sure.
Vidora.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this thing has been ravaging the countryside for 2,000 years.
So,
Imagine it'd be pretty famous.
Echo Rex, you would have heard tell of this thing. It's a monster of pretty nasty origins. It's said to have caused the desolation of Corlin and the removal of life in the entire area, causing the desert. Let me get you a picture here because I have it. I haven't had to use this picture in a while, and I didn't think we were going to go this direction, but do this. All right, so give me just a moment to get this on the screen for you guys. Just a moment, because this is potentially some fun things that we could explore. All right.
The group just looks at Eric and just says, "Big monster!"
Yeah, kind of.
I have to AFK 1 minute. I'll be right back.
Sure. So, Malavidoro looks like this. There we go.
Oh, that's kind of rad.
Wow. Oh, I recognize that name. Oh,
It's also referred to as the Beastie.
Okay. Okay, so it's no pushover. Okay.
yeah.
uh,
Okay, that's interesting.
I do my best.
yeah.
Yay for commission art that I finally get to bring back after a couple of years. So, ever since it moved into the area, the lands outside of the Citadel are limited. The orcs and centaurs ravage the land looking for food. They've become carnivorous. Instead of being agricultural based, they raid and ravage. They come to our doorstep seeking our food, and we must drive them away. Thus, the troops you see around you. Well trained, as well as I can train them, and loyal as payment can provide. All their needs are met, and they have a place to stay that shelters them from the dangers of the desert.
Brennan's gonna whistle loud and give an eye shot to Sweetheart's Rose.
She just looked at him, just what?
He nods his head to come over. He walks away.
I'll walk over to Brennan while I'm sure Victor is gonna keep talking to Rickard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rickard's gonna ask, is South Cove still under your rule?
No. No, Regan has taken over. We do not want to rule such a corrupt place. Loyalty is gone from the city. It is ruled by the letter of the law, not by the spirit. Executions are performed for the minorest of infractions, and the greater, if done properly, are allowed and excused. You can kill someone, but as long as they have offended you in any way, you are not guilty. However, if you speak ill of the leadership, then you are put to death. It is a terrible place filled with all sorts of villainy and creatures from throughout the realms. They say that it is even more dangerous than the capital of Corlin, Ochukvok, where the Lady of Shadows once again holds sway.
Rickard just looks at him like incredulously, and he's like, "Then we need to do something.
What would
Have you
have us
forgotten
do?
what you made Karth out of?"
What would you have us do? I have but 50 men, a few servants, and the security of this place. Regan Fang has hundreds of monstrous creatures within South Cove, all bent upon his will, and he has deals with gods. Avatars of gods are said to be currently brewing within their temples. The rumor that we have received over the past several days is that one of the voices of Mosaba is about to rise. Should that happen, we should stay here, lest we be drained and passed to the wind.
At that, Brennan is going to tell Sweet August Rose.
Yeah.
Brennan is he doesn't like any of this, and he's usually kind of neutral on stuff. Like he doesn't really care. He hates all this. Does Brennan get any essence, even though he's already been told from this figure that this figure is a vampire?
Roll an insight check.
Okay. I mean, I think we already said he was, but
Well, he is standing out in the sun, so that's kind of weird if he's a vampire.
The
I'm-
high magic game, sunscreen is a thing.
So with an 11, what you know of vampires, he's standing out in the sun, he's sitting on the edge of a fountain where there is running water, and he's not bloodthirstily attacking everybody. He's not trying to charm you guys. He's not doing anything that would indicate that he's a vampire. However, with your 11 and the stuff you guys have learned about Ricard has said that there's some sort of vampiric side of this. The guy's over 2,000 years old. He's not human. That much is obvious. So we're not dispelling that side of it. But there's something more going on here than just, ooh, bad vampire.
And just because the art, AI art kind of gives everything pointy ears. Is it clear he's not an elf?
He's not human. But you look at Ricard, and Ricard also has pointy ears.
Yeah,
they appear to be elvish in origin.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is going to be in character, so because Brendan's going to be kind of a jerk because it works with his character. So Brendan's going to tell Sweet August Rose, look, nobles like him, they live in a different world than everybody else. He's even said just now, he doesn't let outsiders in or commoners in. He's probably a vampire or something, I don't know what, but he's not just a normal being. And his wife is in that house, who we suspect of having sordid affairs herself. He just talked about Masaba.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we talking to him about all this and telling him everything that we're about and doing? I'm sure he missed his son, but we don't know why or what his intentions are or why he's upset all these horrible things are happening.
No, we don't know a lot of things, and from what I can tell, he's not lying. He hasn't lied to us at all. If he's not bothering anybody here in his castle, then do we really have the right to slay him? No, I mean, I think ultimately we need to give Rickard a chance to determine what he wants. Also, he let us know about this Malvadoro creature, which, I mean, that sounds like a hunt. And if it's what's causing the destabilization of Corlin, killing it would, or at least getting rid of it would definitely benefit my long-term plans.
The hunt would be good, I'll give you that. But I don't wonder if he also has long-term plans and if we might be inadvertently playing into them.
Possibly.
Didn't he say that his mother, or didn't we have some premonition or insight into that his mother might be working or doing something with Masaba?
We don't know yet. We think she might be the one who turned the father, but we don't know anything about. I mean, this was all 2,000 years ago.
No.
Rose will. She'll try to remember what she heard about the Von Kars because, I mean, her family was in relevance about 130 years ago.
A little more, yes.
So that may have been past the Von Kars prime, so she might not know anything.
Let's roll history.
But
Let's find out.
I mean, the South Cove is the biggest trade city near Bourbon, so let's see.
Well, it was at one point.
Ricard also told you guys that he had scryed on his mother and seemed like she was up to Bosaba type things.
Yeah.
That may just be her trying to survive being near South Cove when Masaba came out, for all we know. Trying to be like, hey, Masaba, I'm a vampire too, don't kill me. Yeah. We don't know.
So, with a 16, you will recall the Von Karths being importers of goods from Bourbon. This is information you would have gathered after you left. This is information you would have tracked down about your family, and your family would have had trade with them, and would have had your father and mother might have visited them once and come back, but they are kind of private in your history.
Yeah.
They've lost their power long before you were born, and before your family really took over, etc., they were already
On the-
mostly irrelevant. They were on the downside.
Yeah, they were waxing, or they were waning when we were waxing. Yeah.
Correct.
Um,
So you would
Okay.
recognize the
Question,
names
is
from
this-
records, etc., but as far as any relationship with them or them having ever visited you guys, no,
Yeah.
not a chance.
yeah, they're too far away, and she was a kid, so she doesn't. I mean, her father probably talked about stuff, but she was busy. I don't know, climbing trees or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, who's the Duke of Earl now?
I don't know.
Who cares, right?
Yeah, she just looks at Brennan and just says, "Yeah, I can understand why you'd want to go in guns blazing, but yeah, like I said, I think we should give Rickard a chance to talk to them and try to figure out what he wants to do. I mean, after all,
Yeah.
they haven't. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking up the walls. I'm sure the soldiers are watching this with interest because they're all just
Yes, they're watching
the
with
middle of their
interest,
inspection.
but at the same time, none of them have their weapons drawn.
Yeah.
They are all standing at parade rest, just hanging out. They do not, while skilled, they don't appear to be actively threatening.
Are we communicating over the telepathy, or is this
Oh,
chatting?
this is just Rose whispering
This
to
is
Brennan because I don't think we have the walkie-talkie on, unfortunately.
Right. Well, Brennan will just say this. He'll just look around kind of in disgust at just everything he sees. And he says, look, since we've been here, what this man has talked about is how he and his family have lost status. And I've seen dragons hoard with more modesty than what I see around me. I don't know what his intentions are. I'm sure that he has feelings for his son. I just want to make sure that we don't get involved in something as Patsy's that we're unaware of.
Fair enough. I think we should just be on our guard.
Textinde wanders over and says, you guys are talking about situation, and I have a perspective. Let's say that he is indeed a dark, undead monster. He's still an element of regional stability, which is sorely needed in this world right now. Even dark entities appreciate stability, something that the voice of Masaba disrupts utterly. I mean, at this point, it's less good versus evil and more order versus everything's on fire. I mean, entities of tremendous power, like ourselves and him, have been incented to be polite and respectful to each other, because none of us got to our current positions by picking fights we couldn't win.
That's true, but we've already unleashed one dragon on the earth. I want to unleash something else.
In a royal we.
I feel like we've gotten to our position by picking fights no one thought we could win. But yeah, Rose just shrugs and just says, like I said, I mean, from my understanding, he doesn't really leave the grounds that much. He's not bothering anybody. As long as we don't find out that there's a shipment of 50 slaves brought in to be eaten every week or so, I really see no reason to start drawing weapons.
I mean, if that was the case, he wouldn't be fighting to keep the commoners out.
Yeah, true. I mean, that would be yeah, she just nods and just says, but I mean, yeah, I'm concerned about this Malvadoro.
All six
Oh,
of
yeah.
you hear in your heads, hey, can you guys hear me now?
Doesn't he need?
Oh,
I'm pretty sure he needs to touch us to turn it on.
he's gonna walk around and touch all of you.
Oh
Yeah,
no!
yeah.
Like Duck Duck Goose.
More like, hey, look at the skywriting.
Yeah.
The skywriting says Amer rocks.
Amers,
Textinde for a moment pulls out a tinfoil hat, puts it on, and transmits. Yeah, I can hear you. What do you want?
Wow.
anyways, like I said, there's
Brendan's gonna drop it, but begrudgingly. He doesn't like this. He'll make some quip about, of course, nobles leave the commoners out. That's what they do.
So Eric,
Yes, sir.
Malvadoro, I mean, to get an idea, is he a dragon type creature, size and CR, or is he a T-Mat type entity? I mean, what what to expect or what
Okay.
can we think of here?
The level of danger would have made you shake and quiver in fear. Malevodoro is a entity made up of and feeds upon fears. It's not necessarily that he's destroyed the life in the area. It's the fact that he has driven people to be so terrified that they have harvested all the life in the area out of paranoia. It is
Okay.
fear that he feeds on, and if you want to go for difficulty, he is a end game type entity.
Oh yeah, well I know that for out of character. He was what the teens of Toivoa fought against, right?
He fought against them once, yes.
And yeah, they were no joke.
So that's an option. It's what's going on in the area. It does not need to be handled by you guys if you don't want to go in that direction, but it is something that is in the world. So just tossing that out there. You guys also have South Cove available. You have the Von Karths to talk to if you want to continue talking. Brennan's like to shoot first right now, but that's up to you guys how you guys want to handle it.
I was trying to weigh correcting South Cove versus dealing with this monster. Because that's a major undertaking too, is to usurp a city government.
Oh, that's
Well,
not easy either.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
And to give you perspective, and you guys know this, these people, the Von Karths, haven't been able to do it. So it's a major challenge to get through that. Should you choose to do that? That's
oh yeah. I mean, ultimately, I think Rickard needs to just finish talking with his parents before we come to any sort of decision.
And did
Yeah,
you
I'm
get
up
my
for a
message?
search hunt.
Sean, did you get my message?
Yes, I did.
Cool. All right.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna get a glass of water.
Okay. I'd give you an extra bottle, but kind of a bit of a drive.
Yeah, at this point, Rickard's just kind of like pacing in front of his father, just like rubbing his forehead, like there's got to be something we can do. I mean, I'm here now. I can help. Maybe there's somewhere. Can we just like take out Regan himself? Like, can we get in there and it's like an assassination type job, or what? Or like, is there a way to deal with these Sturges? What would you have me do?
I would have you stay here and find a wife. We can search for someone to carry on our name.
What? I mean, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm already. Listen, if we can take back the city, they'll write legends about us, just like the stories Alara used to tell us. Like, that's how we live on. The Karth name will be known forever. You've let it fall into ruin.
We've done what we've had to, just to survive. We're not what we once were. When you left, it broke our hearts. We spent fortunes trying to find you. We nearly bankrupted ourselves. For 100 years, we scoured Toivoa, looking for you, to no avail. We don't have the might, both militarily or politically, to take on an entire city. I wish we did. If we had the dragons of old, if we had the capacity that we had, the wealth long ago, before you left, before you were taken, we might be able to take on South Cove today. It would be a trivial matter to have held power from them. But like boiling a frog, they have built up an enormous city with vast amounts of power and friends. It is no simple task to take on South Cove. We cannot easily reclaim our position in the world. It will be difficult. But now that you are here, there is hope for us to continue as a family. Your mother and I are old, Ricard. You are still in the flower of youth. You could have many children and bring joyous laughter to the Karth estate.
Ricard's face definitely softened as he was describing the efforts they went through to find him. But when he mentioned staying here again, his face hardens again. And he says, I didn't think that I knew what it was to rule. I never thought I was ready. But the old you showed me what that was. The people of South Cove need you now. I'm not staying here. I'm gonna do something. I don't know what it is. Strategy has never been my strong suit. But I'm ready, I'm willing to serve the people of Karth.
So be it. Will you at least speak with your mother before you go?
Of course, of course. I'll go see her now.
He nods.
Yeah, after. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, go ahead.
No, Rose is. I mean, after all, we don't have to go charging off to the city immediately. There's no rush. It's been there for the last 2,000 years. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah. And besides, there's a royal here looking for someone to help him make heirs. You want to be royalty, Rose?
What?
Well, if he needs a woman, and you're a female, right?
She's just gonna shake her head and ignore him. Yeah.
Matchmaker,
I mean-
matchmaker. Sorry.
So. But yeah, she just. Yeah, she just says, there's no rush. Take your time, Rickard. I mean, like I said, the city's been there for days, or for not days, for thousands of years.
A lot of days.
Let's see. 2,000 times 365.
730,000
It's been there for at least 730,000 years, yeah,
days.
or 730,000 days. Look, okay,
It's after work. I understand. We're good.
I'm not a math major, okay?
Chronomancer, you are not.
Nope.
All right. So you want to go inside?
Well, Ricard will stop and turn to Rose as she, says they have time, all this, and he'll give a smile and a nod.
Yeah.
We're here now. You got me this far. That's the most that I can ask for. But if you'll join me in whatever efforts we can to help these people, I would greatly appreciate it.
I have no objection to that. Yeah, he says, yeah, go talk to your mother, Rickard. I mean, you never know when the last chance you'll have is.
Ricard nods and turns and walks away.
Over the Amor walkie-talkie, she'll just say, "Staying here will also give us time to do some poking around and make sure there's nothing unsavory going on the grounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just make sure there isn't a cellar full of, butchered people or anything like that.
I was going to say, throughout pretty much everywhere Brennan goes is going to be investigation checks. Undead. Yeah, he hates all this.
Though, let's be clear, if we're going to be tackling the potential rise of a voice of Masaba, unsavory or not, a safe location is essential.
Yeah. I mean, well, to be honest, even if all we do is just weaken Masaba's forces, I think that would be enough. I think there are others who might be willing to take down the voice.
Yeah.
If cough cough, Wednesday, get your train wreck, get your act together.
Out of character, Brennan is just chaotic good. So he's just that's just how I'm going to treat the character. I'm not trying to be a jerk.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
I do need to interject a out of character thing. In the tavern over the past week, Sweet August Rose posted a 5,000 gold bounty to restore Farboiler back to his shop.
And I'm sure all the groups are leaping to do it. I'm sure it's going to be done once I get back. Absolutely.
Everyone left town.
I know. She's going to be mad when she gets back to Nausha.
That's
She's going to be
awesome.
like, 5,000, it's 5,000 gold. I got paid 5,000 gold to kill a greater demon. And these groups, these kids nowadays, they won't even take 5,000 gold to find a guy and force him to get back to work. What are adventurers coming to, man?
I mean, at that point, it'd be cheap. It'd be cheaper in the long run just to hire someone to kill him, bring back the head, and cast Raise Dead on him.
Yep. All right. Moving back into the Von Karth estate. Are you guys going to follow Ricard into the building, or are you going to stay out here with his dad?
Well, I mean, is his dad like offering us like accommodations, or is he just
He
gonna
hasn't
like
offered anything yet,
Yeah.
but he
Yeah.
has welcomed
I
you
would
to
ask-
the estate. Yes, sir.
I would ask his father if he has a library, if I might be able to visit his library.
Unfortunately, I do not have a library. I have a few books, but my wife and I do not read that much. As you understand, once you've read books a certain number of times, they lose their interest. We had to sell much of it to search for Ricard.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Well, Tessadende will walk up to the father and say, well, now that your reunion with your son has reached a bit of a climax, perhaps more formal introductions. We are the Spirits End Fellowship. We have quite the history amongst us of monster slaying. I think that we might be able to be of great use to each other.
Perhaps so. If you were able to rescue my son and return him, then you've answered my prayers. And I thank you for that.
Brennan will say you're welcome, and then he's going to walk into the palace to snoop around.
Okay. Awesome. Ricard,
I
are you going into
suppose-
the palace as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Is
Yeah,
anyone
I
staying
suppose
outside?
we better go join Ricard for a belated birthday.
Yeah, Rose is gonna walk with Ricard just to
Okay.
one, she wants to see how this Lady Von Karth reacts.
Sure.
Yeah.
Amer's going
The
to
only
go
thing that-
with, and the thoughts that are going through Amer's head is, I get to see Ricard's mom.
Kind of looks like Rose.
Yeah, I think Echo would follow,
Okay.
the rest of the group.
Cool. All right. Then we go inside the Von Karth estate, where
At this
the-
point, Tessadende is just following Amer to make sure at no point is he left unsupervised.
Yep, understood. In your head, you hear humna humna. As you guys walk into the grand ballroom and find Lady Von Karth coming down the stairs. She sees Ricard and grasps the banister, steadying herself, preventing herself from fainting. Ricard? She sits down and begins to cry. And she looks again. It's another vision. It's another of the visions. Stay out of my head. Get out of my head. He's gone. He'll never come back. She opens her eyes and looks at you again. You can't be here. You can't. You died long ago. I know this is just another dream.
Ricard's face went from kind of a stone face as he walked in and saw her to hearing her cry and getting a vulnerable look to his face again and taking a few steps towards the stairs. And then when she starts saying you can't be here, he just kind of stops for a second and he's like, I am here. I'm back, Mother.
She looks terrified at all corners of the ballroom. I must be asleep. I'm stuck in a dream once again.
Ricard's gonna walk up and give her a hug.
She's sobbing, just weeping into your shoulder. Don't go. Don't go. How can this be?
Not going anywhere.
How? I don't
Trying to
care
figure
what
that out
happens.
myself.
I don't care what happens in this dream. For one more moment, I'm with you. And she pulls you and puts both hands on the side of your face and holds you and looks into your eyes. I miss you. And there's a impression in her eyes that you feel that she's expecting you to turn into some kind of monster and consume her, like the hundreds of times it's happened in the past 2,000 years. Her fears have been manifesting, and her worst fear is that you and her husband would turn against her and destroy her. That you would betray her, that you would die, that you would be gone, that her lovely child is missing. And she is breaking down in tears and racking wheezes in your arms.
Yeah, I think whenever she said, I miss you, Ricard would find himself breaking down into a sob as well. And just hugging her tightly.
She will kiss you on the top of the head and breathe in your scent. You've been gone so long. How can this be? How? You not a dream? If you are, go now, while I still have heart.
I'm here, Mom. I just spoke to Father out in the courtyard.
She hugs you tight once again. You haven't had a hug like this in 2011 years.
Yeah, it's weird. It's almost felt. This is kind of out of character. Just his thoughts right now. It's felt physically like it's been like 3 days to him.
Right.
But like returning here, just like suddenly filled in that whole gulf of time. It feels like.
Yeah, you look at her eyes. Her eyes are much older than last time. And I am seeing that, Brendan. I'm not ignoring it. I'm just going to stay here for just a moment.
We're just
Um,
all of us just judging silently, like hawks.
legitimate.
100%.
You guys are 100% in the right to be doubting all of this. 100%. Not dismissing any of it. She's looking at you, Ricard, and her eyes, while her skin and everything looks almost exactly the same way as you remember it, her eyes are far much older. She's looking at you, and she's remembering things that happened 2,000 years ago. She's remembering your joys, your sorrows. She's remembering her little boy running up and down this hall, chasing his own friends, playing with the servant children, throwing balls, breaking a vase. All of it. She's reliving all of that in a moment while you're giving her a hug.
It's just kind of like looking into her aged eyes, and he gives a smile and kind of brushes her cheek and says, "Doesn't look like you've aged a day, Mom."
She gives a low chuckle. You're home. If this is a dream, I never want to wake up. Welcome home. And she hugs you tightly once again. You must be hungry. We don't have much food, but we have enough for you. Did you bring friends? And she turns to see the other 5 people standing there, judging her.
Yeah, Ricard will kind of turn and gesture towards him and say, "Yeah, these are my new friends. They saved me."
Well, they're much older than your last ones, and she looks at Sweet August Rose. Much lovelier, too.
Yeah, Rose will give a small, respectful bow.
Did you bring home a girl, Ricard?
Well,
It's
he
about
is
time.
here with me.
I mean, technically, I think I brought him here, but
She makes a good point.
She's going to squeeze your hand. There's hope for you yet.
Rose isn't going to say, mention anything about, her and Lady Von Karth are kind of similar looking. It's just,
Yeah.
yeah.
And see the resemblance.
Yeah, there is definitely a resemblance.
Uh-huh.
But it's just, hey, wood elves in this area of Toivoa all kind of,
Yeah,
look-
that's
look-
not racist. Yeah, huh? She smiles and comes down the stairs towards the group. Welcome to my home. I am Leora Von Karth.
Leora.
Put that in chat for you here.
Okay, out of respect for Rickard, I am not going to write that down in the enemies part of my notes. I'm going to write that somewhere else.
Just read it in between.
For now.
So, I am now going to address Brennan's investigation check of a 14. Brennan, as you look around this place, and I'm going to try to take this with Brennan's perception, okay? Because we know Brennan, he's been around for a while. This place is ostentatious. If they really wanted to care about themselves and the peasantry, they could feed the entire town of South Cove for a good year on selling this place. It's ostentatious and extravagant. No one needs chandeliers with 100 candles. No one needs crystal decorations on the walls. No one needs two-tone marble floors. No one needs this opulence. They could live in a log cabin. They'd be fine. She's got extremely fancy clothes on. She's wearing partial armor. Her clothing would feed your family for a couple of years. And yet, she's here, hunkered down in this estate like a hermit, being a Scrooge, living for a couple thousand years, and being waited on hand and foot by servants that are all around you. They're all busy doing something. What that is, you look at a couple of them, they're polishing tables. There's a couple that are over on the side folding napkins. It's extraneous, the kind of stuff that she's got going on here. Wonder how they pay for all this. That's just with the 14.
That's funny.
Yeah.
You know, his mom lives in a sky castle surrounded by a dragon.
It's only because his father ruined half the universe that we're in right now.
I just had to throw that in.
Oh, I know.
Oh no, I know.
Compared to your mom's place, this place is a dingy dunk mud hole.
Yeah, someone can feel free to throw that back in his face later. That's
Yes.
fine.
But from
I'm
trying to taint that in Brendan's perspective of the place.
Brennan would believe all of that, and his suspicions would be based around why these people they're acting like they've lost so much, and that if we do things for them, things will be restored. And Brennan's asking why would he be involved in that? That's his mindset.
Understood. He hasn't said it. It's just his mindset. 100% legit.
Yeah.
Eric, Amer has the mirror of unseen things or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ask him to let me take a look at that.
Oh yeah.
He's
a good idea.
going to be like, okay, sure. Because Amer has never turned you guys down anytime you've asked him to borrow something.
Yeah, as long as you give it back.
As long as you give it back, because he needs to look at himself later to fix his hair.
Yeah, and I think that's what Echo's going to do. He's going to use the mirror to kind of look at himself, and
He doesn't have hair.
He's got to make sure, you know, his scales are clean, you know.
Oh,
his
okay.
scales are shiny.
Okay.
Polish some of those up.
Check your teeth,
he's-
make sure you don't have anything in there. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's going to turn around and adjust the light on his face and get a good look in the background of the place around here, the people, even maybe Mom, and see if everything kind of shows up in the mirror the way it's supposed to.
All right, let me go ahead and pull up the mirror because I need to read the exact text.
You know,
of it.
it's kind of funny. All it says is this allows the holder to see reflections of such things as vampires, invisible creatures. So I mean, if she is a vampire, she's just gonna appear in it just like anything else. But also, she would appear in it if she wasn't a vampire either.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So instead of revealing illusions and things like that, it lets you see a vampire, but it doesn't reveal.
Right.
Yeah,
The specifics of it are this: the mirror of sight unseen. This elaborately carved ivory hand mirror only reflects things that other mirrors cannot.
Oh, only reflects. Okay, so never mind. I didn't read that. Whoops.
Well, that's a good thing to notice too. I mean, because we don't have true sight anymore. I mean, do I see anything here that we don't see or wouldn't show up in a regular mirror?
Interesting. So, as you look around with the mirror, there are ghosts in the room. You wouldn't see them in a normal mirror, but if you had true sight, you'd be able to see these spirits haunting the place. You'll see poltergeists and various specters roaming to and fro. None of them actively doing anything malicious. It's just that there's a large number of people who have died here over the past 2,000 years. They range from servants to soldiers. There's a couple noble people that have died here. They're well dressed and appear to be eating at an invisible table. It's a little spooky. If you've been to the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland, it's kind of that feeling as you look in this mirror.
Okay.
And as you turn it to look at Leora von Karth, you cannot see her in the mirror.
Okay. Okay, I think that's what I was interested in.
Can't see yourself either.
Correct. So all of your
Right.
all of your deception, I would need. You gotta be a 5 on deception to, pretend that you're looking yourself.
Yeah.
So you're gonna succeed on that because I know you got a +5 in charisma. So
I was gonna say, is this woman just watching this person look around in the mirror?
That's why it's a 5. It's,
Yeah, she's a bit distracted at the moment.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
true.
no, it's not intended to be a big check. This is not her doing an insight check. It's I'm looking at things. Just don't be obvious.
Yeah, and
Plus,
Rose.
it's
I
fun
mean,
to
her,
have really low checks sometimes.
yeah, Rose was when she was watching Leora's reaction to Rickard, just trying to see if it was genuine or not.
Sure.
And it sounded genuine.
Roll your insight check.
I already did. It's up there. Look. Look
Oh,
at me!
goodness.
I even spent inspiration
Yes,
and
sir.
re-rolled it to get a 19.
I'm sorry, I was stuck in monologue.
Oh, don't worry. I am here to give you the rolls you need, Eric.
I appreciate the fact that you know where I'm going. So, she seems sincere in everything she has stated.
Uh-huh.
That said, she does hold something in reserve.
Oh yeah, who doesn't?
Right. You do. Everyone in this party does.
Yeah.
Except for, I think, Testudinidae. I think Testudinidae is the only completely upfront person in the party.
That could be
He's
true.
probably the only one who doesn't have anything resembling a tragic backstory.
Well,
He's-
I guess
he's a-
Brennan's pretty upfront as well, right?
Yeah, Brennan's pretty upfront. He just doesn't talk about stuff.
Yeah.
It's less about holding it back. It's just like, I don't want to talk about it right now.
Yeah, he gets bored. Yeah.
Yeah. But as far as Leora goes, everything she stated is what she believes to be true and factual. She does miss her boy. She does wish that he was here. She was terrified of the dreams she's had for hundreds of years, thinking that she was daydreaming and going to have some sort of horrific nightmare imposed upon her.
Yeah, no, Rose is just, like I said, leaning quietly on her staff, watching this.
She comes down the stairs with Ricard, holding his hand with both of hers. Him holding her arm like a gentleman would, because Ricard, as a question, this is not necessary, but would your manners have kicked back in now that you're back in your home?
Yeah, I think he is holding her arm like a gentleman, and he's using the other arm to kind of like wipe his eyes, all the tears out of his eyes. Then he kind of does like a grand like sweeping gesture, and he says, "Well, welcome to the Karth Estate, everyone. Make yourselves at home."
It's a pleasure to meet you. Your names? I am Leora.
My name is Echo Rex. It's pleased to meet you.
Pleasure. It's unique to see such a regal kobold, polite with manners. Your scales shine in the sun. May they continue to do
Thank
so.
He spent some time as an actual dragon. I think some of it rubbed off on him. Tashidinide, High Cleric of Anwa, and he makes a short bow because turtles don't exactly have hips. So just kind of like a tilt forward 15 degrees and then back.
Yeah, gotta be careful. Can't fall onto your back. Oh, that should be a mechanic for turtles. If they fall prone, they have to spend all their movement to get back up. I just realized that.
If Bender can do it, I can do it.
Bender has extendo arms. You don't have extendo arms.
She looks at you, tested you today. It has been centuries since anyone related to Anwa has graced our floors. You are welcome, but your goddess has turned her face from this land. It's a good omen that you are here.
Well, Anwa's will is fickle, but when her blessings arrive, they arrive in force.
I see you brought quite the force. An archer? She looks
Brennan?
at you.
So go ahead. I'm sorry.
She just looks at you, saying an archer.
Brennan casts Prestidignation.
Mhm.
Does that work?
Yes? To clean
Okay.
yourself
I
off?
don't know if maybe they have. Okay. He's gonna make his stomach growl horribly so that it's very audible to everybody in the room. And before he says
Amazing.
anything, he says, or before he says his name or anything, he says, "Yeah, do you all have a bathroom I can use?"
She smiles. We have a lavatory, yes. Just down the hall to the left.
Brennan's gonna
I
go
got-
investigate some stuff.
I gotta go to the shitter. Bye.
Shitter's
Just
full.
amazing.
God dang.
Oh,
One of
Brennan's
the
gonna leave before he-
servants
yeah,
is going
before
to
he
be
introduces-
gestured to and is going to try to walk ahead of you towards the bathroom.
The guide you, yeah.
Yeah, we don't need another repeat of the broom closet incident.
Yeah, to be fair, Rose has pulled this almost as the exact same trick when she was in Vix. So like, she just didn't do the prestidigitation, but she did fake going to the restroom. So
Yeah.
like, it's not it's valid.
Yep. Brennan, you have been granted inspiration for going to the royal poo room.
Nice.
So the question is, oh, never mind. Good. Some of them, even my filters kick in a little late. Never mind.
And
yeah, we'll move on with that one.
On the way to the bathroom,
sir.
Brennan's just going to be investigating the room, seeing if there's anything that's undead, vampiric, Masaba related that he would know about, just anything.
Okay. With your passive investigation that we've got going on, your passive perception as you move along, you're going to look, and there's a lot of paintings of Ricard doing all sorts of things, ranging
Sweet
from
moves.
hunting with hounds in a forest, to jousting, to sword fighting, to fisticuffs bare-chested in a ring. It's almost a Ricard fan club down this hall.
Okay.
It's a little disgusting.
Their version of the Sears pictures.
Yeah, except for each of these paintings is like 5 feet wide and like 4 feet tall. These aren't little pictures. Someone commissioned art for Ricard.
So Brennan's not learning anything. He's just getting more frustrated at the
Oh,
opulence.
absolutely.
But yeah, the Von Kars, they hired Bubble Laser, and she's just been churning out Rickard pictures. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. All oil on canvas. And you will come to the restroom, Brennan, and the servant who's been, quote unquote, guiding you from 10 feet in front will stop and gesture to the restroom. And the lavatory here has a natural spring in it,
Nice.
hooked up to a seat. I don't think you've ever seen a bidet before, Brennan.
Brennan's going to drink out of the natural spring.
Understood.
Did
It's
the person
fresh.
Go ahead.
Tastes clean. Like, this is the coldest water you have tasted in several weeks.
Yeah, he's going to give it to him. This is good water.
Did
the-
you close the door, or did you leave the door open when you walked in and drank from the fountain?
You have actually closed it because
Okay.
he's trying to see if he's
Thank
trying to
you for
investigate
saving.
stuff.
Thank you for saving my servant the disgust.
Yeah. When he comes out though, his beard will be all wet.
Okay.
And I don't want to take this over. I'll give it back to the carpet. But is there anything on the servants like uniform, any emblems or anything?
It is the Von Karth family crest, which Leora
Okay.
and Victor and Ricard all had.
Okay.
As far as a
right.
religious symbols, like anything Mosaba related, no. You don't see any ritualistic scarring or tattoos. They're very clean. They all smell like vanilla, which is weird, but they do. They don't smell like urine.
That's
So
too
they
bad.
make horrible hunters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give themselves away.
Oh,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right.
All right. So we pan the camera back down the hall, past all of these lovely paintings that are fictionally done of Ricard, because there's no way Ricard looks that good. Just saying. Like, Ricard probably doesn't even think Ricard looks that good.
Oh, he looks even better.
Uh-huh. Okay. So, Echo, if it had been an illusion, it would have not. If it had been an illusion, it would have shown up in the, or would not have shown up in the mirror. So you're going to have to go around and do investigation checks to check for illusions. So you're going to have to like touch things and so on.
Out of character, Eric, do I know about the ghosts haunting this place?
You would know of a couple, but 2,000 years is a long time.
Okay.
A castle where people have been living for 2,000 years are going to naturally collect ghosts.
Yeah, like back when Echo had true sight, he would see ghosts like all the time, like
Right.
all the time.
All the time.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not weird. It's not like, oh, this place is a charnel house. Like no.
No, not
yeah.
necessarily.
Yeah.
True story. My house has a ghost in it somewhere. We have never seen it, but the previous owner died here, so.
Yep. It happens. Yep.
Cool.
I mean, to be fair, if you could choose where you haunt and you died in a house, would you haunt the house or the nearby strip club?
The house. You don't know the strip clubs in the area.
Also, that sounds loud.
Yeah.
I'm trying to sleep. I'm a ghost. Let me rest. God damn it.
Besides, there's always bedrooms. Anyway, moving on. Ricard, you and your mom have come down and she watched Brennan escape to the bathroom. I'm sure you're hungry. We have lunch being prepared. Did you want to join us?
Absolutely. We might even be able to stay for the night if you have the rooms available.
The rooms are all available. They've been kept prepared and clean. Your room is, she smiles, is ready with your birthday presents.
Ricard grins. I had heard. Well, while we're waiting for lunch, I'll go check them out.
Okay. Will you take your friends with you? And she turns to Sweet August Rose. He's never taken a girl to his bedroom before.
Really? From my understanding, he has.
She raises an eyebrow at Ricard. Is there something I don't know?
Well, I didn't take him to my bedroom. I'll just say that.
Oh yeah, it was out of the town.
Other
yeah,
rooms
also,
in this house have been frequented, is what he's insinuating.
Hotel rooms, bordello rooms. Not bedroom. Not his bedroom.
All right,
Ricard's not like stopping anybody from following him, but he's just gonna start walking towards his room.
cool. You go to your room. You go up the stairs. You cross the marble floor. And you go to a pair of large double doors that stand 30 feet high. The doors are easily 20 feet wide, and you've not seen them, in your mind, for about a week.
Yep.
But as you reach for the handles, they're a little worn. They're highly polished, clean, dust-free, just like you remember. Do you open the doors?
Yes.
Okay. As you open the doors, your bedroom opens before you. The luxurious carpet is there. The high four-poster bed with mirrored canopy. The red satin sheets. The pillows you remember exactly like you left them a week ago. But standing off to the side, there is a suit of armor on a stand. It's covered by a red satin sheet. That's out of place, and is presumably your birthday present.
Ricard kind of cocks his head to his side, raises an eyebrow, and walks over and removes the sheet.
Underneath the sheet, there is a suit of armor. It looks, I tried to get as close as I could, like this.
Okay. I can work with that.
I tried to match your existing art, so I didn't have to change anything, but
Yeah, it's very cool.
That's pretty sharp.
Does Rickard have a helmet since we've met him, or does
it's
he
on the
just?
armor stand. You didn't have one
Well,
before.
Well, yeah, I know. Well, I know this set has one, but like since we rescued him, did he have a helmet, or was it just his plate?
Oh, I didn't have a helmet before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Helmets are very important, you know. Got to protect the old noggin.
Especially on motorcycles.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was essentially playing in this suit of armor before he passed out the night before he was taken or whatever.
Right. You borrowed, quote unquote, your dad's armor.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you were playing around in Victor's armor, which you are still wearing, and he didn't begrudge you because, heck, his son's back. He doesn't care about the damn armor.
Mm-hmm.
But they apparently commissioned a suit of armor for your 40th birthday, 3 years after you disappeared.
Yeah, Ricard will set the shield down on the bed and start removing his current plate armor and start trying on the new set.
Cool. I'm going to send the new set to you, sir. If you'd like me to share with the party, I can.
Yeah, go for it.
There you go, sir. If you wish me to share that, I will.
It's gonna be something like the ancient ages of Warlock the Mad.
This armor binds itself to your flesh, and you can never remove it. Your soul is trapped for eternity.
Or
you can share it with the group.
All right.
You cannot remove this armor until you have sired at least one legitimate heir.
Oh, that's what I should do in the future. I will do that in the future to someone. There you go, Ricard. Hope you enjoy that as a birthday present from your parents.
Why does that sound menacing?
You seen the armor?
It's a birthday. Enjoy your birthday present.
It's because of the damn music that's playing. We'll change that up a little bit here.
Oh, it's like the mummies.
Yeah, very cool.
Oh, yeah, you weren't there when we fought the mummies. That was a fun fight.
Wow. 150 feet. He's moving.
Yeah, that's really fucking fast.
Okay, so it's once a day. Okay, just checking. Yeah, if you ever need to truck, and also like you can go up too. So that's handy. So 180.
Yeah.
So you can go. Let's see.
There's not a lot of things out of reach for him when he decides to get there.
So he can dash. So it's 360 feet per round times 10. So 3,600 feet. So yeah, he can go about half a mile. A little over, like 3/5 a mile. That's really neat.
Yeah,
Also,
Ricard will
Yeah.
once he has it on, just kind of like walk out into the ballroom hall and kind of raise his hands up. It fits perfectly.
As he comes out wearing the suit of armor, you guys look at him. Looks good.
Yeah.
And Ricard notably starts performing some sweet moves in his armor.
He slide down the banister.
Yeah, and he's like punching and kicking and stuff. He looks kind of goofy.
He looks kind of
She's just-
intimidating.
Yeah, she's just smiling. I mean, yeah. Well, presumably his eyes aren't glowing like that in the helmet.
It'd be cool if they did.
Well, you can get little gems that attach to the armor that'll do that for you. But yeah, she just smiles and just says, "You know what? Does it? I mean, because it doesn't look that different from the armor he was wearing before.
Right. And that makes sense because he's wearing his dad's armor, and they commissioned a suit of armor to match the family's armor.
Yeah, presumably from the same guy who made his dad's armor back in the day. Yeah. And
Cool.
she's gonna say, "Yeah, you look good, Rickard," but she doesn't really know anything about plate armor, so she's just like, "Yeah, it looks." To her, it looks the same, but you know, he's enjoying it. She doesn't want to spoil the mood. He's having fun. Yeah, it's very lovely. I like the tabard. It's very nice.
He kind of like looks down. He's like, "Yeah, that is a nice addition." He like realizes for a second that he hasn't shown his dad, and he starts running out of the building.
Yeah. Like as he's turning, Tessudine can't help but say, like, "Well, judging from what I saw of your fighting style, I was half expecting it to be made of bread."
You hear like a tinny laugh as he's running out of the building.
Good to see him happy again.
So you run out of the building. Are you guys chasing Ricard as he gleefully goes out as a 40-year-old man?
I mean,
technically 2040.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I empathize with that.
Yeah, because she's looking at both of his parents, and like she's just wondering, like, are they elves? Like, are they humans? Like, is he middle-aged or just like really young? Like, it's all these species, man. It's hard to keep track of things. But yeah, she's just gonna stay in the foyer, I guess, with Leora.
Awesome.
Or the ballroom, I suppose. Yeah, that's
Awesome.
where we are.
How much have we gleaned of Ricard's race or his?
You never
I guess
directly
it's
asked. Yeah.
Yeah, we never asked.
You've never
No,
directly
well,
asked.
last
We have-
episode,
Mhm.
Brennan kind of was asking about vampires.
Yes.
He smiled and shows his teeth. But you're right. He never said what he was.
Correct.
Yeah, and I think there's different types of vampires that can like drain life force from you. It doesn't have to be blood. Yeah, I'm just trying to get a feel for how much Echo knows.
Okay.
Doug has a really good idea what's going on and would like to ask some questions, but I don't know how much Echo knows.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and roll an insight check for Echo. Let's see what he knows and see how well that matches up with what Doug knows.
Okay.
So with a 10, he's like Schultz from Hogan's Heroes. He knows nothing.
Yep. Okay.
Well, Tessudine is going to ponder this situation. There's something that Ricard's father said that stood out to him, that they never, not that they can't, not that they don't, that they never leave the grounds. And he's going to look around, pondering if instead of perhaps this being undead living for thousands of years, if there's perhaps some temporal shenanigans going on with the grounds.
Okay. Roll. Do you have detect magic, or are you just looking around for anything out of the ordinary?
There is a little chirping from the back of his neck as his little lizard climbs up and sits on top of his bald head and looks around, which is Nanahozoatl, the Coatl, which
Okay.
does have detect magic and true sight.
Sure. And your little friend is going to chirp about the fact that there's not a lot of magic here. Definitely nothing chronomancy based. There is some magic, particularly in the paintings.
Oh, is this a Dorian Gray situation?
So do you want to go look at one of the paintings closer?
Yes. Well, Testadea, who is a man of culture and appreciates fine art, will go up and appreciate some fine art.
Sure. Is anyone going with Testudinide to look at the art as Ricard is outside talking to Dad? And we will get to that in a moment.
Is Brennan back yet?
Is Brennan back yet? How long does Brennan take in the bathroom? Is he one of these book readers or heavy thinkers?
He didn't even need to go. He was just wanting to see if he could find any. He was trying to do what Testudinide is doing
Sure.
now, basically looking around for stuff.
Brennan, did you check the medicine cabinet?
Would Brennan have checked the medicine cabinet? I'm gonna give Brennan. Yeah, he would
Yeah,
have.
okay. Guys, there are people who do this. So as you check the medicine cabinet in here, you're going to find a variety of mouthwashes and general cleansing things. Nothing out of the ordinary. It's kind of boring.
No cocaine.
No cocaine.
Yeah, no prescriptions.
No mental health stuff, nothing like that. There's a old container for athlete's foot stuff, but it probably hasn't been used in several years. That sort of thing. We know the bathroom we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. So would you come out of the bathroom after having rinsed your mouth?
Yeah.
Okay. The servant's there and will try to guide you towards the grand ballroom once again by simply walking in front of you.
Hmm.
You gonna return?
Brennan's gonna kind of walk back a little bit and he's not gonna go the other way and cause an incident, but
Right.
he's just gonna see if there's any rooms or hallways off on the sides.
There's a couple, and you can look into many of them. There's one that has an easel set up with several paints, set up little bottles, ready for a painting. There's nothing on the canvas yet. The servants have arranged this in case someone wanted to paint. You can find that in that room, as you walk past it, slowly, obviously, because you want to see what's in there, it's an atelier. It's where artists paint and draw and sculpt. It's a little artist nook. You look around at another one, you're going to see a desk and empty bookshelves. The desk is perfectly right angles on everything. It's obviously not been used in many years, but it's dust-free and very clean. It's a study that is just being maintained, not used. It's kind of like walking through an empty house almost. It's lived in, but people aren't currently living, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it would for him.
Okay. Cool. So, Testudinide, Echo Rex, you said you were also interested in the magical stuff around. So would you be joining Testudinide near the painting?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So as the two of you walk up to the painting, you look at it, and the details about Ricard's face aren't quite right. Whoever the artist is did a decent job and has studied their subject very, very well, and has done a decent depiction to where you can recognize that it's supposed to be Ricard. But it looks more heroic. Better cheekbones, slightly. Just a little bit more shading. Like you gave Ricard a makeover and made him the best version of Ricard in the painting.
Well, I mean, it's not like when you get someone to paint you in a heroic pose, you want them to include the weird dimple or the zit on your nose that day.
Right. So it may or may not be special that way, but as you guys are looking at this, I need you to beat a wisdom saving throw of a DC 10 if you want to.
What the fuck does that mean?
Oh, I nat one it.
Okay. Well, you can't
Plus
critically fail
13,
saves.
holy shit.
Yeah. Echo, can I get your wisdom saving throw, please?
think Echo feels like something's going on, but he doesn't know what. And he's trying to gain as much information as possible.
Sure,
I think failing the saving throw is the best way to find out what's going on.
sure. Tester Dinde, you notice nothing special about this painting other than it looks very nice and looks like a heroic version of Ricard. Echo, the painting seems to come alive. It is animated. You can see Ricard's hair blowing in the wind. It's got a little bit of a haze as the frame seems to disappear around. The illusion draws you in, and you can feel the wind washing over you. The same wind that's blowing Ricard's hair. The pennants on his lance, they flutter as well. You can smell things coming from the painting. After a moment, you realize this is an illusion. This is a recorded dream.
Okay. That's very cool. Yeah, I'll tell Tessa Dunaday about the painting and the
Dunaday.
illusionary effects of the painting.
Huh. Yeah, it did feel a little wobbly for a moment. There is some rather potent magic there. Recording of dreams. I've seen that used to great effect for some very, very trippy experiences. There is a certain gnome who would take certain mushrooms and then record his dreams, and it was considered high art for a while. But that is not cheap magic. That is something that I think you and I together would need to spend a few years studying to get to work right.
Yeah, that's interesting. This whole place, there's something about this whole place that seems just a little off, and I can't put my finger on it.
To be fair, where have we visited that hasn't felt that way?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I
Except
mean,
for maybe the Pinnacle.
I mean, even the Pinnacle. I mean, let's face it, a bunch of angry-looking angels patrolling all over it. No, that's totally normal.
When Brennan finally gets back from
Yeah.
walking with this guy, he's gonna see Tessie Dinaday and Echo over by the painting. So he'll go over and make fun of the opulence of it all, but then let them know too that there is an artist nook down that hallway. It looks like it's set up for whoever does these paintings. Their supplies are out.
Well, it makes sense, but this is the castle of royalty, so to speak. This is to be expected. But with all of the shenanigans going on, we have to ask ourselves, is uncovering whatever shenanigans worth risking potentially alienating our hosts, who we could definitely make good use of this safe space if we are going to be venturing forth to stop the rise of the voice of Moaba.
Yeah.
Although I would say for a first expedition into this region, we investigate those vampiric sturges coming down from the hills. That seems like something where there's something much deeper that we could pluck from the root.
Yeah, Brennan agrees with that. Yeah.
The thing I'm interested in is the way that Ricard's dad reacted when he saw us. He thought we were a phantasm. And his mother had the same reaction. So that must be happening here on a regular basis of some kind. And I'm trying to understand what that is. Anyway, until we see one ourselves, I mean, we have no frame of reference. So.
Did Echo tell anyone about the ghost they saw in the mirror?
No, I don't think Echo, when he saw the ghost in the mirror, that was kind of common for him. He used to see those all the time with when you see into the ethereal, you see that type of thing. So none of that really seemed out of place, even though it might be a lot of people a large population in this, in a small space. To him, it didn't seem out of place, so he wouldn't have said of anything.
Yeah, how many ghosts has this party left in its wake?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Brennan wouldn't see anything in these paintings. He just thinks the paintings are dumb. Like, he wouldn't know anything about it. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Brennan, I would agree this place is opulent, and there is perhaps some inquiries to be made into how they maintain it without regular supplies and trade. But it seems that until recently, South Coast was fairly prosperous until the voice of Moab rose. That there have been cycles of destruction repeated time and time again. That's not that uncommon in this world.
Yeah, Brennan will just begrudgingly nod his head.
Well, I'm kind of hungry, and I think the lady said that she was having lunch prepared or something like that for dinner.
Yes.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, are we alone now? Did everyone leave?
There's some servants off in the distance ready for your beck and call. They're just standing off to the side, being servants, which you would be uncomfortable with, Brennan, just knowing your history.
Oh, yeah.
But Sweet August Rose is like, well, this is familiar.
Right.
Yeah, she's still in the ballroom with Leora. If Leora is still there, just telling her basically the same thing we told Victor. Where we found Rickard, about Doldrin and all that stuff, and just all that stuff. Because I'm sure she has questions, and she's doing that, keeping her distracted while the others poke around.
Yeah, and she will occasionally glance in their direction, just, hey, I've got guests.
Mm.
But they seem to be entertaining themselves, and you seem to be a potential mate for her son. So, yeah, you've got her full attention.
Yeah, no, she's just explaining, we found him being tortured by minions of Doldrin Shadowscar.
Oh, horrible. Who is Doldrin Shadowscar? Sounds like someone that needs to be dealt with.
Oh, he
Lesson is Mora was.
you're not here. She just says he was a archmage of some power. He's been dealt with. He's dead.
Thank you. Saves me a lot of effort.
Oh yeah. Well, yes. But I was hoping, you would have some insight on how he came into be in that place on the Isle of Shalosh. After all, this kidnapping was 2,000 years ago. It's long before I was born.
Shalosh. I remember someone visiting from the island of Shalosh. One of Rickard's childhood friends. But
Really?
we've not seen... Pardon me, excuse me. And she's going to start moving outdoors.
Was it like she wants to show me something, or
You
she?
can come with. She hasn't excused you. She's just...
Okay, yeah.
She has to go outside.
Oh yeah, I'll follow her. Yeah.
Okay. So you guys will go outside, where Rickard is currently showing off the armor to Victor. And Victor is playfully punching Rickard, showing how tough the armor is.
Yeah, Rickard just got fist on his hips, laughing.
Leora comes out in a bit of a rush. Victor? This nice young lady here has stated that our young man was held prisoner on the island of Shalosh. He turns. He went with Malachi. As Sean goes quickly back to his notes and figures out who Malachi is.
No, I remember who Malachi is.
Okay.
Yeah, Rickard kind of tilts his head and it's like, excuse me?
Malachi, your childhood friend from Shalosh. You went drinking with him the night before You disappeared. We've never seen him since. You both
Ricard just
disappeared.
frowns.
We assumed that he was involved in getting you in some sort of trouble here in the town. Now that explains it. Do you know anything about Malachi, where he might be?
I have no idea.
Surely he's to be blamed for this. Both of them
And
nod at each other.
Ricard suddenly has, a not common light bulb go off in his head, and he's like, "Oh, we have a way to the eye. We can see him, right?"
They look at each other. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Did anybody come outside, or did
No, yeah, I was following him,
Rose
so
follows
I-
along? Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
Rose is just like, well, we've already used it for today, but I mean, if this Malachi person is still alive, we might be able to use it. The thing is, Malachi did he have a last name?
Not that Ricard would be familiar with.
Malachi is a pretty common name, or it's not so rare as to there. I'm not sure there are tons of people around with the name Malachi. Also, this person was from 2,000 years ago. I'm fairly certain there are not that many people around who are still alive from that long ago,
Both of them look at each other.
unless there was something about this Malachi. Was he an elf, or?
He was a young dragonborn man.
And out of character, Eric, Dragonborn lived for like 120, 150 years,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, if he was a normal Dragonborn, he'd be dust by now.
Ricard would
Yes.
know this, but was he a black dragonborn?
He was not a black dragonborn. He was bright white. His scales used to shine in the sun so that you could find him anywhere he played hide and seek. You can see the reflection off of him.
Also, like, childhood friend, but also Rickard was abducted when he was in his 30s, so like,
They refer to it as childhood friend because it's 2,000 years ago.
okay.
But
yeah.
we're
So
talking,
this,
teens to,
okay,
teens to 30s, hang out.
okay, okay.
Would
Yeah,
I be
Rose
right
just-
in saying he would be a drinking pal, Ricard?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, she just looks at Rickard and just says, I mean, it might be possible, but I mean, with only the name Malachi, I guess the Dragonborn Malachi might be able to narrow it down. We might be able to search for him, but like I said, he's probably dead. As-
Ricard
Yeah.
he's just kind of looking at the ground, shaking his head. He's like, "No, you're probably right. You're probably right."
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to try.
What exactly are you going to try?
We have access to some very powerful scrying magic.
Indeed. Victor looks very interested at this as he glances for just a moment. He can't hide it from you with your super high perception. He glances at Leora and looks back. Such powerful abilities could prove useful.
No, they have. Extremely useful. We've been using it almost every day since we got it.
He looks meaningfully
Ricard just
at
kinda like-
Ricard.
Yeah, he just kind of like does like the thumb gesture towards Rose. He's like, "I'm telling you, these guys, they're crazy. They've done some crazy shit since I've been with them."
Perhaps we should discuss this inside.
Yeah, I think I heard Brennan's stomach growling earlier. We should get some food.
I will ensure that there's enough food. Would you like to come and do a tasting with me, Miss Rose?
That would be lovely, I suppose.
All right.
I've never had Corlin food before.
She smiles. Well, perhaps we can ease your palate. and she is
Yeah.
going to try to hook your arm and escort you inside.
Yeah, she'll allow it. Why not?
Okay. Victor will elbow Ricard. Mighty fine one you've got there.
She is pretty awesome.
I understand the desire to find a woman just like the woman that married dear old dad.
Don't make it weird, man.
Oh man,
Tell me dad wouldn't do this.
Oh no. Yeah, and then Ricard would say, "Don't make it weird, old man."
Well,
They have a little
it
bit of
seems
a
if
laugh. Yes, sir.
it seems if dad has his way, Rose is gonna get deflowered.
That's
that
way too
happened.
late
That
for
happened a
that.
long, way too long for she. Yeah, about a century late, but okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Gotta do what you gotta do, right? Yep.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. All right. So
Hey, if you get a regeneration spell, does it count as getting your virginity back?
we're not going there.
Yeah.
All right. So as you guys head in, Sweet August Rose, you and Leora will disappear into the building, leaving Victor and Ricard outside. We're going to have the camera on Ricard and Victor. So, now that we're alone, other than him, as Amer is still sitting over there drawing in the clouds. What do you think of...
He's not paying attention, I don't think. Ricard doesn't think he's paying attention, but
Yeah.
Amer sees and knows everything, I think, around him.
Of course. You say you've only been gone for a few days by your perception.
Yeah. Yeah, just woke up in that dungeon a few days ago.
What do you remember before that?
I remember drinking with Malachi. It was a long night. But I returned to the castle and left him at the door and came inside, danced around with the armor and the shield for a little bit and passed out.
And someone took you from within.
Ricard
Sorry.
raises his eyebrows and he's like, "Oh yeah, that would make sense."
I'm sorry I didn't protect you. I failed you as a father. I won't do it again.
I don't think Ricard ever expected him to apologize, and his face just kind of scrunches up and he nods. It's okay.
No, it's not. But I will accept your forgiveness. And we'll move forward. Come. Your mother will be disappointed if you don't eat. And besides, we need to get to know your future fiancé a little better.
You guys are leaning into this way too hard.
It's awesome. So
And he's going to get up off the fountain and gesture for you guys to walk inside. He will throw his arm around you in a side hug as you walk.
You'll follow him inside.
Go. We go inside. As you guys are inside, I hit the wrong button. As you guys are inside, you are escorted to the kitchen, Sweet August Rose, where there are servants currently preparing lunch. It smells delicious. There are entire bowls of salads with croutons that are being made fresh. There's cucumbers and lettuce and peppers and cheeses that you would recognize from being overseas. Imports must be good here. There are fresh fish that look like they just got caught yesterday. The lunch appears to be 3 courses.
So, to just put this in perspective, this compound is in the middle of the desert.
Yes.
Like, were we? Like, how far away from South Cove are we? Like, is it
You
like?
couldn't see it because of the walls, and you don't know. If you want to go
Okay.
outside and look, or go upstairs and look out the window,
Well, you know what? She can ask. She'll just ask Leora. So, where exactly are we? Because I was under the impression we were going to go to South Cove.
that city lies a mere 2 miles away.
Oh, so we're fairly close to the ocean then.
Indeed, but
Alright.
the ocean here is barren. There are creatures within the waters that Regan Fang has summoned to ensure that the Protectorate does not assault his walls.
So then she looks at the fish. Then where did the fish come from?
They're brought overland.
Ooh, she just says so. Well, I guess, and apparently, I was under the impression that from Victor that you guys were in dire straits.
We have sold nearly everything of value that can be sold without tearing down the roof. However, we still have friends in some places that we hold influence over. Not many,
Oh,
but a few.
yeah, because it's also. Okay, so I guess I wouldn't know this. I wouldn't know how deserty it is outside the walls.
Yes, you would,
'Cause
because you would have heard that the area was devastated by.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I guess, are there windows? She could have seen outside a window.
When you went
but
upstairs to visit the bedroom, you could look out the
Mm,
window.
yeah.
It's desert for as far as the eye can see. I will go ahead and show you the city of South Cove because you'll be able to see it from the window. There you go.
Okay, so it's not complete. There is greenery.
Little bits here and there, but yeah.
Yeah, we were kind of expecting a sea of ash and blood.
Yeah, which
oh,
is
yeah.
what the rumors are.
But this is the way the city looks like when I was looking out the window. No giant blood storm raining havoc on the city or anything like that.
No, it's amazing what hyperbole in the the telephone game will do.
Huh. Okay.
You looked out and you saw this.
Yeah, just a normal city. Interesting. So yeah, Rose just says, well, I mean, so because I saw the,
prepared for you guys. Like,
well, yeah, she looks out there. She's just saying, well, I saw your lands, and they're barren because of this Maladovo.
Yes.
So,
The beast.
well, most nobles that I know of, make money off taxing the people that work their land. So, how do you stay in, well, relative comfort? I'm just curious. Over 2,000 years, I guess, 2,000 years allows you to have some stable sources of income.
Investments, primarily.
Hmm.
We have trade occasionally with members of various countries, and while limited, we do have some favors that we can call in from time to time.
I see.
Food typically comes in either from South Cove itself or from nearby places. The orcs occasionally bring them. The wandering savages, the centaurs, bring them in as well. They fish in the Phantom Run, a horrible place where your mind is not to be trusted.
It seems like a wise thing to do most of the time.
The centaurs seem to have a resistance to it.
It's
As do-
interesting
Good.
when you first met us, you thought we were a phantasm. I was going to ask you about that because it seemed like you both had the same reaction.
She's
Is that
going
common here?
to look at you. Yes, and there's a reason. Melivodoro is a creature of fears. He plays upon the minds of all those within hundreds of miles of him. He can force us to see things that are not here. He manifests our fears and uses them to feed, even from afar. At night, it is worse. When he flies above the Sturge cloud, he can enter your dreams and cause nightmares that are so vivid that you can wake up with injuries. It is horrible. And seeing Ricard, she looks over in his direction. Seeing Ricard once again, we've seen him hundreds of times over the years. Always torn apart and turned into a monster, crying in pain. Anything that could have brought an emotion out of us. Our worst fears were manifest. And to see him now, even now, I'm afraid that this all is another dream and it will all turn bad in a moment. Malavidoro has tainted our minds with fear.
That sounds awful. And how long has this Malavidoro been rampaging through Corlin?
They look at each other. Victor speaks up. He has been around since before Ricard was gone. However, his influence was not felt greatly until the past, 1,500 years? Once the orcs moved in and raided his cave, he grew more powerful. He grew from a small thing to be ignored in his little cave, to feeding upon the fears and dreams of hundreds and thousands of people. Every year his power grows. They say that he's been slain once or twice. The question is if it really happened, or if it was a dream that the people dreamt of success. The thing has the ability to manipulate your reality. What you see, feel, and sense cannot be trusted. And so we live here. We've invested highly in wards around this place. You should have calm dreams today. We've had the wards in place for the last 100 years.
Well,
And excuse my impertinence, I believe I recognize that. And he's going to point at the top of your staff, Sweet August Rose.
She kind of winces, but she's just gonna say, "Oh, it's a sword I found north of the Dragon's Horn. It was actually in a drug runner's lab."
Would you like to roll your persuasion or your deception?
I believe they're the same. Yeah, they're both +7, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, my insight check, because I'm going to do this beforehand. My insight check is going to be a 22.
Ooh, good. So I mean, she is telling the truth.
You are. But
so
he's going to determine.
Unfortunately,
he looks at you knowing it's not a common item to have simply found. A contact of mine long ago, about 100 years ago, came here with a protector who had a sword. I didn't realize it was a sword until you just said so. A sword like that, almost identical, if not the same one.
I believe. What was the name of the guy, Eric? The painter guy. I don't, because it was. I met him in Wrightport. I forgot his name, and I don't think I wrote it down.
Oh gosh, I'm having a brain fart because I do know his name.
He had art, I think.
Yes,
He's
he
a
does.
doppelganger.
Yes. Oh, my brain fart. One moment. Finding him. Gosh, why am I brain farting?
He told me about the red daggers.
He's the one who kept the painting, yes.
Yeah.
I know exactly who we're talking about. I'm pulling up his art so I can find his name. Denom.
Denom, that's it. I should write that down because he was actually pretty important.
Yes.
So,
I just haven't referenced Denom in so long.
I think
had
since
a complete brain fart.
since
Like, I'm
then,
sitting here
yeah.
telling lore of Denom, and I don't recall his name. And so I'm sitting here going, damn. And I will show Denom because he's a little bit on the creepy side as far as art goes. Here we go. Denom's art. Bam. There we go.
Yeah, I remember that guy.
Kind of reminds me of the guy that drew Echo's Blood.
Oh yeah, they're both a little jowly. Well, this guy is that way because he wants to be.
Yeah, which is weird.
But Rose just says, I met we were in Wrightport, and I met a man who advised that there was a drug lab on this island full of crabs. We went to go destroy it, and in the desk, I found this blade, and I incorporated it into my staff.
Interesting. Would you be willing to sell it?
Oh no, it's a valuable trophy of mine. It doesn't work, unfortunately. I've tried to use it, and apparently I believe it's one of those blades that only works for certain families. And this, I will roll a deception roll, because that is a lie.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Alright, here's my new insight check. I got an 18. Shame. The family that I knew that blade from was quite powerful, but has fallen since then. One of their head wizards came here, guarded by a man in shining armor. Fabulous swordsman. He and I dueled. It was a pleasant excursion, a diversion, while the wizard cast the wards.
Oh, so I almost slipped there. You didn't say the name. So whoever you dueled the person who owned this blade?
Indeed. If that is the same one, I would need to see it drawn from its sheath in order to determine that.
Yeah, she'll draw Valerian. From the hidden trick staff.
In your head. Oh, damn! Seriously, we gonna do this? This is gonna be awesome.
No, we're not.
Come on, sis. You know
I'm just. No, I'm just showing him.
Damn it! And the sword is going to try to move. You can easily hold it, but you do feel. It's like the force feedback joysticks. You feel that pull.
He wants to dance, and I'm not letting him.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
He can't force his way out, but there's that little magnet pull of, hey, let's get to it. Victor is going to look at the sword. It is the same one. 100 years, and the blade looks as fresh as it did then. Only it's not stained with my blood.
Yeah, she shrugs and puts the sword back into it, the staff. She is gonna ask, who is she talking? The mage because she's. Was there another court mage aside from her brother, or is he talking about somebody else? Because there was Valerian, who was a knight. because there was Valerian who was, a swordsman, and then there was Montesquieu who was a skilled like nerd.
Right.
So she doesn't know if he's talking about like both her brothers were here.
Unless you're going to reveal Montesquieu's name.
So,
Or are
well,
you
yeah,
asking?
she's not. Well, no, she's just like, so you had a mage erect these wards? Like, are these wards able to completely deny the I can't remember. Malavadoro. I keep wanting to saying Maladorvo. Malavadoro. Are these wards completely able to deny his influence?
Not completely, but for the vast majority. Should he fly over the compound, we can feel his influence. Should we leave the walls, then we are vulnerable.
So, forgive me, I am not very educated when it comes to magical matters. Wouldn't a cleric or something like along those lines be better than a mage from some foreign land?
Pardon me, but not many mages in the form of clerics, yourself excluded, Lord Testerdine, are willing to come to the Karth estate.
I don't mean to pry, but may I ask why?
He sighs. They view us as an anathema.
Well, I mean,
Apostates and general agnostics.
no, well, that's not too bad.
They don't share our belief that the gods are optional and are simply powerful beings that do not deserve to be worshipped.
Rickard, why are your parents so likable? She just nods and just says, "No, I actually commiserate completely."
Because of this, clerics are typically unwilling to come here.
So I was okay. So I'm afraid I must ask. Even if you two are elves, you'd be ancient by our standards. Are you two members of the Ageless?
He sighs and sits back. No. That is... Roll persuasion check. Let's see how much you can get out of it.
What? Why doesn't he want to talk to his future daughter-in-law, huh?
Because you're not sitting next to Rickard yet, and I see no kissy faces. We get some PDA, you're going to get advantage on your checks.
No.
Oh, no PDA?
She's not that desperate. These people are in a net.
Look, these two are pretty desperate.
Yeah.
So, over the walkie-talkie, these people are an anathema. Yeah.
You're an anathema.
Yeah. So with a 20, he looks at you. Long ago, there was a entity that fed on dreams before Malavadoro existed, and he caused me and my wife to become thralls of his. We are not of the ageless, but rather we exist on dreams. We are cursed by our existence to continue to live as long as those around us dream. We consume their dreams, allowing them nights without. The more people around us, the less it is noticed. So, we are what you would refer to as dream vampires, as is our son.
Ricard looks surprised and like drops a crouton that he was about to put into his mouth, like jaw agape.
I mean, I've spared the life of blood vampires, so I mean, it's not like I'm not one of those crazy witch hunters or anything like that. I don't mind as long as you're not hurting anybody. I don't care.
So interesting is, I mean, it almost sounds harmless. Is it as harmless as it sounds? Surely.
There are side effects. When we consume the dreams of what you would refer to as our victims, they do not sleep well for several days and are typically exhausted the next morning. They may have a nightmare of us being present in the room, but usually that's actually them waking up in the middle of the process. It's mostly harmless, and they're not physically injured.
I thought vampires couldn't go out in the sun.
Only those who are turned by certain vampires. For example, the croutons that you are eating have garlic in them. We are not affected by those, nor the silverware near you. As you understand, we do walk in the sun, as we must enjoy life. We enjoy the sun and enjoy it as someone would a dream. We view the day as our night. We cannot go out at night without the sturges feeding upon us. We are the day walkers, the dream eaters.
You've mentioned these sturges several times now. So every night swarms of vampire bats descend on the land?
If they were only vampire bats, we would have eradicated them. The sturges that come from the mountains are the size of you or me, with beaks 3 feet long that can impale a man and fly off with him.
Jesus. God, Corlin fucking sucks. God.
Amber's gonna speak up. That's why I don't go out at night!
I just thought it was like pickpockets or some shit. Man, yeah, over the walkie-talkie, she's just gonna be like, Rickard, your home fucking blows. No offense. It's just like, Jesus. It's like, oh yeah, every night the giant blood-sucking monsters descend, and also we have no food or water because there's a giant monster that's making everyone go insane. Oh, also, like, the guy in the city 2 miles over is a complete a-hole. Like, also, there's no food in the water because he hires monsters to guard the water, so there's no fish in there either. Like, Jesus. That's the next campaign. We need to have a campaign where the group's goal is just to fix Corlin.
Meanwhile, like half the group is just judging his parents the whole time too.
Yep.
Damn. All right. So she's just like, well, man, it really does seem like you have a lot of problems on your plate. Well, considering we came here to return Rickard,
and we appreciate that.
We would be more than willing to help.
I'm not sure how. Ricard has stated that you are miracle workers, and bringing him back alive is evidence of that. We would relish the opportunity for you to assist, but dangers are far too high.
We're no stranger to danger.
We are the stranger danger.
But
Fair enough.
other than bringing our son home to us, what is your purpose?
She just smiles at that. I suppose in the short term, bringing stability to the region would be my goal.
It's stability here at the Karth estate is intact.
Oh no, I
Safe here, as long as you wish to stay.
well no, I'm in the entire South Cove area.
The entirety of South Cove you wish to stabilize. I had not heard a jest like that in many, many decades. Bringing peace and structure to South Cove is an impossible task. Regan Fang holds that city like an iron grip. No one can wrest it from him. The city is his, and the entirety of the populace consists of monstrous beasts, creatures, orcs, goblins, Tlinkali, the Zugund, etc. The werewolves thrive there. There are Rakshasas that act as vendors in the streets, selling petty wares. This is not a place to be taken lightly.
Of course not. And I don't expect to do it overnight, but we have time, and if there's anything we can do to help, I'd be more than willing to.
I appreciate your enthusiasm, but perhaps your efforts would be best used towards other goals, for I am sure that you did not come to the Karth estate to liberate South Cove.
That's kind of why we came, actually.
He looks
Well-
at you, serious.
Us to
Yeah, well,
come, I believe, for that very goal.
well, originally we came here to find out exactly what happened with Rickard. We thought that maybe we didn't know exactly the circumstances of how he ended up on Shalash. So we were, prepared to come here for a fight. I'm glad that wasn't necessary.
Us too. It would have been terrible for you.
Everyone.
I'm
Oh.
sure.
And then tries to hide it.
I mean, it's
I
the
mean-
truth, yeah.
I was told that you guys sold me to Doldrin and that you might be in cahoots with
Sold you?
Masaba and all this kind of stuff. So
Sold you? Never. The lying person. Who was it who said such a thing?
I actually didn't catch her name. What was the name of that mage that we fought in Doldrin's place?
The mage. The one who got away.
Who did we let get away? Did we?
Didn't she plane shift out? She was the one who was
Oh.
doing the
Jars, yes.
jars. Yeah, I don't remember her name.
It was that was the succubus, right?
Nope.
No, it was a
It was a
it was,
fake creature.
yeah.
You guys didn't
Was she
check
a
it.
I
hag?
think I might have.
Was she a hag? I mean, hags do lie. I don't remember. I don't actually think she gave us her name. I think she
Not.
just said that. Yeah.
Yeah, she may not have.
was being nasty.
Are you telling me the bad guy lied to us?
Oh no!
People do that? Just go on the internet and lie? To be fair, it was one of the minions who was in the room adjacent to where he was being tortured. So it may not be exactly the most trustworthy source.
You think?
No, she'll say that to
Okay,
Victor.
okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Back in character.
Mm.
A fey creature on Shalash torturing my son, and you were to trust them.
Well, we didn't know who to trust.
Do you trust Ricard?
Yes.
Ricard's eyebrows raised.
If you trust Ricard, Then trust me in this. I would never sell my son. Not for anything. He is our only child.
I believe you. Like I said, I didn't know you when I teleported here. But after watching the two of you, I'm glad that our assumptions were mistaken.
As am I. Ricard, do not trust the Fae.
Okay.
He says that he's just like shoveling food into his mouth. Does this helmet have like a little like slot so you can like open up
Did
the
he
mouth?
take the
and you can
helmet off to eat?
Yeah, I did think it off, but I think I would like it to have one of those sliding like base visors.
Okay. One of the jousting
Hey.
visors? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's serving Irish cuisine. You can drink it all through a straw.
Eyes glowing red.
All right. So you guys can enjoy your lunch. It's delicious. It's super fresh. The cook did a great job with the salmon. It's perfect. Is there anything you guys want to do during lunch other than enjoy it and have a minor conversation?
You'll see Testadity occasionally lift his fork a bit past his mouth, and a little lizard will just scamper out from the crevice at his neck and dip something off the fork and dart back.
Okay. Would they notice that?
Probably. He's like brightly colored and shimmering.
Okay. They will notice and be very curious about that creature. But they're not going to say anything. You can tell that they will try to catch glimpses of it. And with your passive insight, such a creature would have very powerful dreams. So, there's a little temptation there.
Mm-hmm.
What
Yeah.
are we eating? I'm sorry, go ahead.
I mean, I imagine we are eating right now.
Yes.
You said it was salad, salmon, and
Salad,
some other
salmon,
stuff.
some bread. Yep. Pretty straightforward.
All right.
Fresh lunch.
So it's salmon. You sure it's not some sturgeon?
It is not sturgeon nor Sturgis. No caviar, none of that. All
We're
right.
banning those puns for this evening. Fish-related puns are out the window.
Okay. So you're saying they are off the scale?
Nice.
Thank you.
Oh, God.
I think we should just finish with these.
Yes.
So
And Brennan's wondering where the venison is, where the red meat is.
Have you seen Look
kind of
Outside, bro?
No, because he thinks all rich people should have. He's like, what kind of?
Oh, of course he should. Like, that's legitimate. He's going to be confused by the seafood and the fresh veggies, etc. This is green food. Food isn't
He's
supposed to be
upset.
green.
He's not going to do it because last time it was a disaster at that restaurant, but he's not happy.
Right. That's legitimate.
but interestingly, there'd probably be like deer heads mounted in the premises
Yeah,
based on the geography that it used to be.
absolutely. Definitely up and down the halls in the study, etc. Because those are things you can't sell. No one buys taxidermies. Like,
That
Nuts.
makes sense.
secondhand taxidermy doesn't exist as a market, guys. Just saying. The only place I know that does that is my local meat market. They'll buy it.
Ricard's just gonna find a minute or like a moment during lunch where the conversation's just kind of like swelling. Everybody's talking to each other and he's seeing people laugh and everything, and he just kind of like leans back and just kind of becomes overwhelmed with joy.
All right. Well, you guys can finish your lunch. They will put their napkins on their plates. They'll stand up. We usually, well, frankly, go and play some chess in the garden in the afternoon. You're free to roam around and enjoy the estate. Ricard, feel free to show them around.
You know, Rose will just say, "Well, Rickard, you know, I'm sure your parents have 2,000 years of catching up they want to do with you. Don't feel the need to accompany us this whole time."
Yeah, Ricard, I think we can somehow make do without your company for a few hours. I don't know if I could get Aimer to feel that way.
Yeah, I think we will do some catching up. You guys can make your way around the grounds.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Rose will, she'll go to some. She's like a cat. She'll go to the high because this place had some pretty high pinnacles. She'll go to one of those and, once she'll look around and I want to try astral projecting. I just want to see what happens when she does that because she can apparently do that now.
All right.
But that can be done whenever, so we can.
Now's a great time for that.
Yeah. Okay.
That's astral projection.
Yeah. Let me.
Got it.
I can do it at will.
Awesome. Cool. You end up to 8 willing creatures.
Well, so for the monk, that's just the actual
Okay.
spell. For the monk ability, it's just myself.
Just for yourself. Okay.
Yeah, and I have to spend 8 key to do it.
Okay, so you want to do this now?
Yeah. I mean, like it's just whatever. That's
So
that's
you're
what
at
she's.
the tippy top of the highest pinnacle here.
Mhm.
Having climbed it, the guards will be watching you because they don't want to have the liability of you falling. But you make your way to the very top like one of these building climbers. And you get up there and you start casting the spell and project your astral self outward.
Yeah, well, she's just curious how it works because she felt she had reached a new level.
Of enlightenment.
So yeah, of enlightenment. So she's just because so it's do I go to the astral plane or do I just am I still on the material plane and I can look around? I don't know how this works at all because I've never had a monk get to this level.
All good. Your
Yeah.
astral form can pass freely through the astral plane, and so you will be on the astral plane, which is a layer on top of this reality. It's almost like you're phased. If you remember that Star Trek Next Generation episode.
Like
Geordi and
Ro, yeah.
very similar to that. Thank you.
Oh, so I can move around and look around here on the material plane, but I can't interact with anybody.
Correct.
Okay.
You're on the astral plane, which means that you are overlapping.
And she'll experiment with this. She'll start just moving around, how fast she can move. She'll just be like, what if I try to go to I don't know, Bourbon? Will she just teleport there, or does she have to walk there? She's just figuring all this stuff out.
Yeah, sure. Double checking here. You can move freely. You do not get any additional speed. You do not get to teleport. You just get to walk around. So
Yeah.
it would take you walking time to get from here to Bourbon.
And does she see any astral stuff here?
There are walls around the compound.
Okay.
Giant astral walls that are shimmering in the astral plane.
Okay. So there's probably not an astral portal here, because
No.
yeah, that's kind of the opposite of what you want to do when you want to secure it. This is probably not a good place to do this. You can't go very far. Because that's another thing she's interested in. Because if she goes through a portal, she can literally teleport.
Right.
The problem is, she doesn't know where any. Yeah, well, getting back, and she doesn't know where any of those portals go.
Right.
So yeah. So yeah, it's just an interesting
Oh yeah.
thing to keep in her back pocket. And if I could find some way to cast the gate spell reliably, then I could have fun. But but yeah, she's just testing this out. You know what? She'll be a jerk and she'll go watch the. I forget. Did Leora she was able to see the scrying sensor, wasn't she?
Yes.
Yeah, she
not
did.
see it, but sense it. And then
Oh yeah,
can
she sensed
detect
it magically.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, she's gonna go watch. She's gonna go watch the chess game just to see if how well this works as a spying tool.
Okay.
Mm.
As a tool, you approach, and Leora is going to turn and look at you.
Oh, you can see me. Well, she probably can't hear me.
She smiles. I can hear you.
Oh, it works.
It's one of the traits that we have. We can see various planes.
Well, it's psychic vampire, and this is my mind. That does make sense.
Would you care
I'm
to
sorry.
watch?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, this is the first time I've been able to use this ability, and I'm just still figuring out how it works. And, like I'll experimentally try to touch a chess piece, and my my
hand
finger
passes
goes
through.
right through it. Fascinating. Oh, but please continue. I'm sorry for interrupting.
They will smile at you, and so since you're here alone, they will communicate with you telepathically. What do you think of our son?
He's very brave, and he's a very skilled swordsman. One of the most skilled I've ever seen.
Do you have romantic interests in him?
No. I am interested in taking him on as a student.
A student?
Yes.
I'm sure he would like to study many things. But we are seeking an heir for our son. A wife.
No, I'm just a monk.
Monks have proven diverse in interests in the past. If you do
I'm
not
sure-
find him of interest, that is fine.
No,
But-
I'm sorry, go ahead.
But know this. Ricard needs a woman. One that he could trust.
She shrugs and just kind of just brushes that off.
Marriage to our son would lead to potentially powerful allies in the future. Consider that, should you ever find the owner of the sword.
Yeah, I'm surprised you. Yeah, I'm just some nobody monk from Shu. I can't bring much to the table other than punching things very hard.
And yet you are astrally projecting from on top of our spire. You hide more than you let on, Miss Rose. She smiles knowingly, sweetly, and a little bit on the Karen side.
I punch things very hard. But she just shrugs and just says, "If I survive the next 5 years, I'll think about it."
5 years is a very short time to wait. And she puts her husband in checkmate.
Are they playing dragon chess or normal chess?
They're playing dragon chess.
Okay. Technically, I'm proficient with that, but I don't think Rose is any good at it. But yeah, she just nods and just because is Rickard still with them, like watching them play chess, or?
I like to
Okay.
imagine he's sitting right there at the table, but for whatever reason, he does not have this power, and he cannot see you or hear anything that's happening right now. He's just like, they are deep in thought about this chess move, aren't they?
and because they're literally still playing chess while having this conversation with the astrally projected Sweet August Rose in your presence, they're talking about you right in front of your face.
Yeah, they're doing like 3 things at once. That's tough. Your parents are smart.
They're apparently pretty fucking awesome.
Hey, I mean, be glad, man.
Ricard, you know this chess set. You learned how to play chess on this chess set. This is the chess set you learned on 2020 years ago.
Anyways,
Yeah,
yeah.
still just as bad as I was back then.
Indeed.
Yeah, but yeah, like I said, Rose, well, she wasn't lying about just trying to see how this works. So like, she'll give them their privacy back and like, whoop. Well, I guess she just reaches back, tugs on the silver cord, and then swoops back into her body.
You yo-yo back. Okay.
Yeah, whoop.
I just picture the sound as something like.
Yep.
Mm.
Exactly. Cool. So you can find your way back home. Does it allow you to end it instantly?
I mean, I think that's part of the spell. Like,
I think you just have to find your way back.
The
You
spell
can
ends for
use-
you and your
yeah.
companions when you use your action to
There you go.
dismiss it.
Yep, there you
Yep.
go. You return to your body and you awaken. Cool. You are set. It's a long spell.
yeah, that.
Wait a minute.
Oh yeah, that
Let's-
took her.
No, wait
that
a
took
minute.
an hour to
Okay.
do. Hmm?
The sorcerer in the group wants to specify exactly what just happened. So, did she end the condition and immediately return to her body, or does she have to return to her body to end the condition?
The spell ends for you and your companions when you use your action to dismiss it. When the spell ends, the affected creature returns to its physical body and it awakens. So, as
Yeah,
an
so-
action, she was able to dismiss it without having to return to her body.
And she goes.
Rose,
whoop,
you gotta,
she just.
Rose, you gotta tell Echo about this kind of stuff.
Well,
It's
I
very
mean,
Do a
cool.
lot with he can do a lot with that kind of stuff.
Does it even have a duration?
no.
No,
It seems like
you
you can just
can
do it for
literally
as
go
long as
like-
you want.
You could do it for forever if she wanted to.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Yeah, that's really cool, and you can combo that into a lot of cool stuff.
Well, yeah, well, that's the thing, because like everybody plays the astral plane differently, you know. Like, you know, some people, oh, it's like the silver. It's just fog. It's just you're in a foggy place, and there's nothing there, except Githyanki and you know,
Oh, how much?
and angry people.
And some people.
There is a astral plane where you could go and fly around, but at the moment you don't have a way to propel yourself up through the air.
So you can go to the astral plane, but it's Spirit Airlines.
Right.
Yeah. So
You
like,
never take
'cause,
off.
yeah, like I said, like everybody runs the astral plane differently, because this is her astral projection is literally just a spell, except it only works for her. She can't bring people
Right.
with her. So I just wanted to clarify that, because like every DM does it differently, and I just wanted to see
Yeah.
what's like in Toivoa.
Yeah. I'm
Uh,
trying to allow for more flexibility and more options than restricting.
well, yeah, because I mean the big thing is like those portals, like being able to like just be like, oh hey, I'm trapped somewhere. Oh, I can just astral project, wander around till I find a portal that's like not to the elemental plane of fire or something, and then just hop through it. And I'll be free, but I mean, I'll be in some random place, but it's, you know, better than being trapped or something.
Yep.
So yeah, there's lots of things you can do with this spell. It's just an interesting spell, and I've never actually gotten a monk to this level who can actually use it before, so I'm actually kind of excited.
Yeah, too bad you didn't use
Just
it
like
on
it's
Shalosh.
high level D&D. Don't see that often.
I didn't have it at Shalosh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
There
I
were
can't.
plenty of portals there.
Oh yeah.
Can prep it as a spell if we ever need it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, Bros. Unfortunately, Echo. Yeah, Bros is probably not going to talk about it
Yeah.
until she.
Needs it.
Yeah, well, until like it becomes relevant. Like, oh hey, like guys, I can go scout that if you want us to. And then she'll mention it, but like, it's monk stuff, so she didn't think Echo would be that interested. But yeah, I'm sorry. So, anyways, I'm hogging the spotlight. I'll give it back to you guys.
So, we have Ricard and Sweet August Rose outside. We established that Brennan, Sar, and Echo, Brennan, Testudinidae, and Echo, we're going to go snooping Is anyone of those three not going snooping?
Was going to be snooping around. I think he figured out what he was. He knew there was something different about the family and about Ricard and this in the world. He didn't.
Yeah, am I just the only one hanging on to this is Brendan, just out of stubbornness. I think everyone else is fine with it.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think
so-
Echo figured out what he was looking for.
So Echo's not going snooping. Is Testudinide going snooping?
Tessa today will walk the border of the property just to see what the range of the wards are, but otherwise he's just gonna go find him, let a servant show him to a comfortable room for the night.
Okay, cool. As you go around and mosey, you're going to pass all the guards. And the guards will not confront you. They will not harass you. They're going to leave you pretty much the bleep alone because you're not doing anything wrong. They are doing their job of protecting the estate from entities that would threaten it.
And he's a cleric in all white. I mean, if you want to be more invisible, he'd need a clipboard and a reflective vest.
Yeah, and a ladder. Ladder's the bonus. Tool belt's even great. Mm-hmm.
The ultimate is a bucket.
Gosh.
Nobody stops someone with a bucket.
Home Depot bucket with something liquid in the bottom, you're good.
Quick 30-second story. My friends and I ran a booth at a comic convention, and they were stopping all the vendors at the door to go over their credentials and checklists. So there was a line of vendors about 100 long to get in. We just put on our reflective vests and just walked in and out ferrying our equipment. Nobody in the entire line or the people at the door stopped us.
I'll tell you mine after the session.
Walk with purpose.
Yep. All right. So, anything else you guys want to do today? Because I'm going to go and visit Brennan snooping. No? Okay. Brennan, you go into the house and you mosey around looking for something of interest. You're going to find the master bedroom. Do you want to go inside the master bedroom? It's very obvious that this is it. The doors are just as large as Ricard's bedroom. It's very obvious where you are.
Yeah, Brennan's going in every room he can.
Okay. As you go to the master bedroom, the doors are currently closed, and you walk up and open them. Awesome. As you go inside, we're going to change the screen here. So let me get this all situated. You're going to go into the master bedroom. As you walk into the master bedroom, the first thing you see is a young woman laying on the bed, asleep. She's got a long, tan-colored dress. Her hair is splayed out around her. Her arms out to the sides. Her chest heaves up and down slowly in a restful sleep. The king-size bed there is far larger than she can fill out, even starfished as she is. Between you and her, there is a wide carpet, 4 inches thick of a rug. It'll absorb any sound that you make. You look around, you see there's an armoire, a chest at the foot of the bed, 2 nightstands, and a large closet off to the right. There's a vanity with a small stool. Various cosmetics sit in front of it. What would you like to do?
Let me see. I mean, Brennan's gonna investigate, and he's gonna be stealthy about it. I'm just seeing what I have. He's gonna leave this. He's gonna try to leave this person asleep for now,
Okay.
and make his way around to the end of the bed to check out that chest, and then
Yep.
after that, move over to the closet.
It's at the foot of the bed, is what we would refer to as a hope chest, except for it is the width of the king-size bed. It has a very large lid that is segmented into 3 parts, each one about 3 feet wide. Each one has a little hasp on it, but no lock. You are unheard.
Just for good
Yes, sir.
sake, pass that trace. Brennan's alone. He wishes Aimer is with him because this is his thing, but he's going to open it up.
Okay. You open the... Which one? 1, 2, or 3?
1.
Okay. The first one opens. That's the one on the far left as you're facing the bed. And as it opens, you see that there's a variety of clothing in there. It appears to be various robes, a little bit of lingerie, things that look like they might fit the Von Karths themselves, or might fit this woman. All the clothes tend to be tan or darkish brown. Desert colors.
Okay. He's going to open up the next number 2.
Okay. Number 2 is filled with blankets. There are thick blankets that no one should rightfully have this many blankets. After all, you only need 1, right, Brennan? This many
Sure.
blankets in a chest is excessive. Perhaps it gets really cold in the winters here, but these blankets are super thick. You could easily take the amount of fur that was used to make these from several large animals. They are very plush and are, if you've ever felt one of those weighted blankets, they're heavy.
Yeah. Okay. Brennan's just annoyed, but he's going to open the last one.
The last chest in here has a variety of crystals. They are all in small cases. The cases have a glass dome over each of them, and you can see the crystals shine and radiate just the dimmest light.
How many are there? Tons of these, or
There would be, it's 64 by 4, so a lot. There's a lot.
a lot?
Yes, sir.
And Brennan's going to pocket one.
You're going to pocket one of them. Okay. Cool.
And then he's going to move over to the closet.
Sure. I need you to roll 1d100 so I know which one you pocketed.
What's the I usually copy and paste it. What do we
It's-
write for large?
It's just /roll.
Slash roll.
Space. Sorry. /roll space 1d100.
Okay.
There you go. So
Six.
6. Understood. Got it. Cool. And I assume you're closing the chests back up and latching the hasps once again?
As best as he can. He's not a rogue really. He's like level 1.
Yeah. It's piece of cake to close a hasp.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're able to go. You said you went to go to the closet.
Yep.
Awesome. You go over to the closet. The door is currently closed, but you can open it easily. You are being very stealthy at the moment, and you can't even hear your own footsteps. As you reach for the door, the handle turns silently. It's well oiled and well taken care of. Everything in here has been spotless and super clean. You open the closet door, and it's dark inside. Next to you, there's a small nightstand with a candle on it, but your dark vision adjusts, and you're able to see inside the closet in grayscale. In here, you see 4 suits of armor on the left-hand side, followed by several suits of clothing. Nice, all wrapped up in like white cloth around the suits. On the right-hand side of the closet, you see that there are dresses. These are in a variety of styles, but all of them look about the right size for Loria von Karth. This is pretty mundane. You look around. Can I get a perception check from you, please, as you investigate a little bit further? The 22. You will notice that there is an extra knob on the back wall of the closet. You could activate that if you choose to.
Oh, you know he's going to.
Are you going to close the closet door before you do so?
I'll say yes. I'm trying. He probably wouldn't, but yeah, he's being really careful right now. See.
All right, so you've closed the closet door. You're inside a dark closet. You can see because of your dark vision, and you pull on that handle. The back of the closet slowly slides to the side, silently. You can't even hear the bearings of this movement. As it slides to the side, there is a staircase that leads downward behind the closet. You see very nice stonework. It appears to be sandstone or maybe marble. It's hard to tell with just the dark vision. Are you going down?
Brennan's gonna go down slowly,
Okay.
trying to listen or hear, see if he hears anything down there.
Sure. With the 22, you can hear the crackle of a fire down there. However, you can't see any light yet. Off to the left-hand side, there is a matching knob that will allow you to close the secret door from this side.
He's gonna leave the door open and go down a little bit.
Okay. As you leave the secret door open but the closet door closed,
Yeah.
you go down the stairs and there's a landing. As you come to the landing, it turns to the right. You going to keep going?
No, he's gonna stop and over the walkie-talkie express what he's found. He's gonna ask the group, should I head back now? And then maybe we can visit this later? Or should I go forward and see what the group says?
I apologize, but I have to say what Amer's thinking. So you found their sex dungeon! God damn it.
Rose,
I think that Ricard would have said, "You found a hidden door in my parents' closet? Yeah, check it out. What's down there?" And then Amer would say that and be like, "Oh, maybe don't check out what's down there."
I don't think
Well,
I don't think
the
it's
vo-
suspicious to have a hidden room in your
Castle.
style.
yeah.
the voice of reason chirps in and says, "Well, a hidden passage to escape the castle is pretty much standard practice."
It is pretty normal, but then again, we are trying to figure out if they have any sort of malevolent intent.
Well, let me put it this way. I'm less worried about their skeletons in the closet than the literal demons on the street.
That is a fair point.
like they can turn out to be like baby-eating vampires, and it's like, yeah, but we can kick that can down the road.
Yeah, Brennan's stubborn, but he's not an ideologue about this. So he's asking the group, should I go and investigate more, or
Yeah,
Or are we
it's a
okay
good
with
thing
it?
I'm a cleric of Anwa, so I can be very chill about this sort of thing.
Yeah.
yeah.
Rose is just, if you do, sneak more, try to use that spell of yours that makes you sneakier.
Which he already cast, but that is
Right.
what she would say.
Yeah. She doesn't know that he has, yeah.
Right, of course.
But she's just gonna be like, yeah. She's just like, if you do decide to sneak to investigate more, just try not to get caught.
Yeah, that's going to be awkward.
Yeah,
All right.
Ricard would say, "I'm not stopping you."
So,
I mean, really, Ricard lives here, so we have permission, really.
I told him
No one
we
is
have
stopping
permission.
him. Yeah. No one's stopping him, so he's going to keep going.
All right. So you go down the next landing, and you can see firelight up ahead, which allows you to see colors. The firelight seems warm and friendly. You can hear the crackle of a fireplace. You come down the stairs, and there is a hearth with 2 large chairs in front of it. The backs of the chairs are turned towards you, and you look around. There is another door off to the right-hand side. The hearth is a very nice fire. The 2 chairs do have a table between them and a large bearskin rug between them and the fireplace, and then some sand so that the sparks don't catch it on fire. There's a small table with fruit that has been dried. Raisins, dates, prunes, a variety of snack foods that can last a while without having to go bad. There's a couple barrels off to the side, and you would recognize them as being mead barrels.
All right. Can Brennan see if anyone's in those chairs?
From this angle, no. Would you like to move closer?
No, he's gonna use his cantrip again. What he's gonna try to do is make an illusion or a sound of a fly buzzing around in front of those 2 chairs to see if there's a reaction.
Okay. You will hear a snap of
Pretty
teeth closing, trying to catch it.
Yeah.
That was pretty clever. Yeah.
At that, because Brennan's alone, he's gonna back out.
Okay. You will hear a couple more snaps and then some scratching. There's some kind of animal in one of those chairs, the left chair, from what you can tell. You gonna
Could
back
be a
out?
cat, you know. But yeah, he's gonna back out.
All right. So you climb up the stairs. You go to the landing. Keep going up. You keep
Yeah, he's
going
gonna
up.
go all the way up to the bedroom, closing everything as he goes.
Cool. You close everything as you go. You get back into the bedroom. The woman is still sleeping in the bed. Closes up the closet.
Brennan's gonna walk on the other side of the door and then knock on it loudly to see if he can wake her up as if he was outside the whole time.
Okay. You knock on it loudly. Bum, bum, bum. She does not respond. You will hear from behind you feet coming. One of the servants is now aware that you are here.
Yeah. And that Brennan's going to turn around and walk towards the servant and say, I'm sorry, I'm lost. Can you help me get back to the main area again?
They will bow their head and turn and guide you back to the ballroom. Cool. So you guys return. Rooms have been made ready for you, and Loria is going to get you guys all assigned to your various bedrooms. Is there anyone who would like to sleep together? Because they have enough bedrooms for all of you. Yes.
So yeah, Rose will she will actually spend she's not gonna long rest. She's going to use her oh my god, I'm going. She's gonna use the time to cast her shadow clone with the one remaining piece of obsidian she has left.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's gonna spend her time doing that. That's gonna take 12 hours.
All right. Are you doing that in the bedroom?
Oh yeah, she's doing that in the bedroom.
Okay,
I mean,
hello?
it's just her meditating
Sure.
all night.
That's
Yeah.
valid.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you gain a level of exhaustion for doing so?
If I don't, it's just a normal. Like, how long have we gone without long rest? It's because it's just I'm not long resting. That's the only issue.
So you have not long rested since last night. So going all day and then all night, you would gain a level of exhaustion tonight.
All right, I'll take that.
Okay. Is anyone else doing anything tonight other than going to their own bedrooms and going to bed?
Well, in the hour before Tessidende goes to bed, there is a powerful flash of magic from his room as he's going to cast Conjure Celestial and conjure one of his Hound Archon bodies.
Okay.
And they are just going to... so then his Coatl buddy, and his Hound Archon buddy are just going to play cards for an hour. And
Okay.
Tessidende loses terribly because he's concentrating on a spell while trying to cast cards, and due to their connection, they can tell if he's happy or not with his cards.
Indeed. All right. Would you be gambling with yourself?
Pretty much, because they can't take it back with them, so
Right.
it's just pretty much a yeah, I owe you.
Okay. The Coatl will remember.
Yes.
All right.
Brennan would want to meet with Aimer
Okay.
or be in the same room. He's gonna tell Aimer, no one else, everyone in the party seems pretty okay with these people, and I don't want to be too cause problems, but and then he'll explain everything that I saw to him. Maybe plan next time to see if he can go along with them with his rogue skills or something like that.
Yeah, man. No sweat. After all, we got to
Exactly.
stick together, bro.
Yeah, but that's it for Bren.
Okay. Echo?
Yeah, I think Echo would actually want to stay with Rose and keep an eye on Rose. Maybe curl up at the foot of the bed or something.
Okay.
And I think share a room with Rose tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, well, because I don't think he's ever actually seen her do this. So when she's doing the shadow clone thing, she basically, she sits down on her little pillow that she got from the City of the Gods. That's what she trances on all the time. And she just sits on it, and she basically is in a circle of dark. She casts a circle of darkness spell on herself, like over and over and over again. And she's just permanently in this darkness for the entire duration, and she's like short resting in the spell, just to be able to just constantly cast it, and inside it, her shadow is animating, though you can't see that anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it's just a dome of darkness, which is kind of boring, but hey.
Awesome.
And that's what it looks like when she's going all Kagebushin no Jutsu.
All right. And lastly, Ricard. You're in your bedroom, I assume.
Yeah.
Okay. What
He's
would
just kind of,
Ricard's thing be tonight?
Yeah, he's just kind of like slowly moving about his room. Just kind of like feeling the familiarity and the comfort of the space and everything, and kind of like doing what would normally be a nightly ritual for him, just kind of like getting ready for bed and all this kind of stuff whenever he's not out carousing. But he's gonna pick up his loot and sit down, and Montalban will like climb out on his shoulder, and he's gonna be like, "What do you think, Montalban? Think I still got it after 1,500 years or however long it's been?" Well, we'll see. And Ricard just plays his lute for a little while before going to sleep.
Please roll your performance check.
I always have. That's pretty good.
So, well, 13 is pretty good. Pretty good. Much better than average.
Yeah, I just imagine like Rickard just going through this his old room, the Oreo Speedwagon posters on the walls, like all that stuff. He has his Walkman there. Or no, probably his beta track player. There we go.
So,
That's E-Track.
Ricard,
You're definitely picking up the right vibe.
just before you go to bed, there's a soft knock on your door, Ricard.
He'll go up and answer the door.
At the door There's a young lady dressed in a long tan dress. Blonde hair comes down to the middle of her back. Her sweet eyes look up at you. Humble. She wants to come in. Will you allow her into the room?
Yeah, he'll give a smile and a nod and invite her in.
She comes in. Do you close the door?
Yeah.
She walks over to the bed, lays down on the left side of the bed, puts her head on the pillow, slides underneath the blankets, and prepares to go to sleep.
Yeah, I think he just kind of leans against one of the bedposts and looks at her and waits for her to dream.
And tonight, as she dreams, you will consume her dreams. She will have a dreamless night as Ricard von Karth, the vampire of dreams, enjoys coming home. And that's where we're going to end for tonight. We'll come back next week to figure out what happens next with Spirits and Fellowship. I hope you guys are enjoying this content.
Yeah. Who are we gonna beat up next? That's the question.
Well, I'm down for taking on the Sturges. That's a nice direct monster swarm that we can fight that will improve people's quality of life, free up some mobility within the region, and then we can start addressing the fact that there's a literal town of demons.
It sounds like the next logical step for sure.
Well, yeah, but I think the scourges are coming from Melvordo or whatever his name, Melvordo. And I mean, I don't think you can get rid of that scourge without getting rid of him.
Yeah, the beast and the beastie is no pushover. Like, I actually haven't seen the episode where the teens of Toivoa fought him, but from my understanding, like, it was close and they were really strong. Like, yeah, I don't know what's going on with that, but yeah, I just know that he is no pushover. He's not gonna be like, oh yeah, we just fought it. Like, they prepared for ages to fight that thing, and they barely made it by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah, it sounds like it's worth investigating to see if there's something that we can do to stop the Sturges without fighting him.
Maybe we don't fight it. Maybe we find a way to just make it like go away. Like,
right.
Yeah, bait the Sturges somewhere.
Yeah. We've got some fun stuff for you guys to think about this week, but I'm going to prepare for you guys to go in one of those three directions. The three directions I have for you guys at the moment, based off of tonight's session, is the Sturges, Malivordor, and South Cove is what I have for you guys, unless you guys decide to go and do one of the other things. If you do decide to do one of the other things, let me know so that I can prep for that. But that's what I'm going to prep for next week, if you guys are cool with that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like playing an Elder Scrolls game. If you run too fast, the terrain doesn't load in time and you fall through the world.
Yeah, that's always my big fear being in GM. But I think we're on the right page. All right, well, that's what we're going to end for tonight. I hope you guys are having fun with it.